It happened again. It happened again. Hello and welcome to the fan cams after the Blues get done at the death by the Pies. It's 12 goals, 779 to Collingwood, 12 goals, 13, 8. And that one stings, doesn't it? That sucks. Just beaten by the better team. Unfortunately, it always seems to be Collingwood more times than not every time we play. So all too familiar feeling here on the fan cams after a loss. So yeah, that's that. Fan cams are brought to you by Oud Koken. Thank you very much for your support, mate. We'll get some people in. If you'd like to join the fan cams, share your thoughts, vent a little bit, get it off your chest. The link is in the chat right now. I've got about 10 spots available right now before it fills up. So first in, best dressed. We'll get through everyone eventually. Follow me.
Oh dear, that was as tough to watch as you can. I mean, I try and be positive. I try and be dad, teaching you to ride a bike and not telling you shit and you're uncoordinated because it's not helpful. But let's be honest. How many times are you going to fall off the bike until you maybe realise biking's not for you? Get a skateboard. I mean, that... I don't know if it's just because it's Collingwood and the feelings amplified, but I feel like that is as worse as I've seen us execute for a long time. And it's not just kicking and basic skills. It's having the hunger to chase your man, having the hunger to track back, having the hunger to back you up. That fourth quarter, there was 4 inside 50s that hit the deck and players expected it to go over the line. Just stood there and watched. And you got Vossi coming out last week, firing everyone up, going, we're a good side. We beat these sides. We set the levels of expectation. I don't think they listened at all, because if that's the levels that they're looking at, we ain't looking at 8. We're looking at top 4, Terry. We're looking at top 4. That's where we need to be. And Collingwood weren't that good. They just had desire, passion, application, a little bit of fucking hunger. Doesn't go astray sometimes, Terry. You know, putting your head over the line, getting nailed. It's what you do when the game's on the line. And that fourth quarter, man, that could have been 5-6 goals. We clung on, and we clung on against Geelong. We clung on against Adelaide. And that was toothless. That was limp. That was limp. In fact, I'd go a step further. That was pathetic. Is underline pathetic. Underline that.
Yeah, it was disappointing. Where did it go wrong? I felt like we were in control. Quarter time, I thought we were looking okay, getting Harry going. Thought Charlie would then work into the game. They were clearly well set up to stop Charlie, and then desire, hunger. Didn't feel like the same approach for a Carlton Collingwood game like it should be. It was just something missing. And then you get a dagger at the end, like a fucking brilliant goal, let's be honest. A dagger in the heart. Oh my God.
Was it a brilliant goal though? I mean, look, that Dacos goes straight out the back of a stoppage. Do you know what I mean? Players stood around. Dacos isn't Jesus. Do you know what I mean? What he does is incredibly good. And he was doing it all game, Terry. You knew it was going to happen. Like, it was when you spend 5 minutes inside your own side, your D50, like, it's not a surprise. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? If you go around fucking a dodgy neighborhood, you're going to get bad things are going to happen to you if you stay around there for too long. It's not a surprise. Do you know what I mean? And this is what annoys me, man. We're at a level. We should be at a level. Rebuilds aren't infinite. And we're still here, aren't we? Execution. Basics, man. Basics. Hunger, desire, passion. And I try and stay positive, and I've been really good. And you know what? This rant is going to cost me the tune of 2K in my group chat. 2K. I am losing money doing this, right? Because this is officially Iran. But it's poor, man. It's poor. It's not good enough. And you know what? Fair play to Pies. Do you know what I mean? They did what they had to, but where was doing what we had to? Do you know what I mean? That one good quarter surrounded by 3 abject, limp, pathetic displays. Short entries, again, coming back. People wonder why we can't defend transition. It ain't fucking rocket science. When you're going 45 out all the time, the ball's there. Look at their inside 50s, Terry. They set deep, leave a massive hole 45 out. That's where we kick it to. They all lead there, and our defenders are like, oh, my God, what's happening? People are moving. Like, you got to be hungry, Terry. You got to put your head over your ball. You got to fucking smash someone. You got to get the energies going. Even when Cottrell kicked that goal, one person got excited, Matt Cottrell. The rest of them were all like, oh, it's all right, isn't it? 88,000 here at the G. I go home, I get paid. It's all good, man. It's got to be a level of desire, a little bit of passion, a little bit of hunger. You want to die for this football club, man. That's what I want to see. And all the good they've done the last couple of weeks, you've got to get better, man. You've got to get better because time's running out. Time's running out. And that was poor, man. That was poor. And I don't mean to be harsh. They know it, but fuck me, that was garbage, Terry. Borderline garbage.
Yeah. It's just it ended up circling back to years ago. Slow, down the line, kicking, no bravery. The Pies cut the angles so well to get their field positioning. We just were on the same wing, kicking the same ball over and over again.
It's the same shit when we win, though, Terry.
Yeah, I know.
Like Carlton's plan B at the moment is release an injury report and hope a cunt comes back. That's what pisses me off, Terry. Like that's what annoys me. It's the same monotonous shit over and over again. Same monotonous shit. And I try and back them in, Terry, but fuck me, man. Like, it's poor. It's really poor. Long balls down the wing. Like, Harry's kicking there. That's case in point, man. The poise. We've got the poise of a fucking fish out of water.
Yeah. Oh, that last passage. It was the perfect play to go deep to Charlie. And yeah, it's like, are we really still learning those things? Like, really? Haven't we learned the harsh lessons from those type of mistakes?
Feels like it's all or nothing. You know, I said it on the watch along. It's all or nothing. Like, it's either 100% full ball, chaos ball, everything looks sexy, everything comes to plan. The minute they try and do anything that requires the minuscule bit of IQ, wheels fucking fall off. Yeah. Wheels fall off. Implosion time, with a submarine being controlled by an Xbox looking at the Titanic, and there's a little small crack in the window, and it's just red mist and fucking crumpled metal all lying around. And we can pick on individual players. Lewis Young, what's Lewis Young meant to do? Like, maybe man up? Like, again, Lewis Young was as close to his opposite man as I am my last 2 exes, Terry. Last 2. Last time it was 1. Now it's both. It's poor, Terry, man. And
yeah.
We're beyond that. And you try and get behind them. You try and give them a fucking bit of love and a bit of TLC. But there comes a point where you've got to fucking put your neck over the line. You've got to execute. You've got to. It's the big game. It's a big game, man. Like, this is where form goes out the window. Pies were hurting. Pies were weak. Pies were vulnerable. They came into a derby and said, you know what? Fuck it. We're going for it. We're going to go mano a mano. And ultimately, they were the mano a manos and we're the boyo a boyos.
Wasn't it interesting? We got our midfield back, every single A-grade piece, high-level piece in there, and so we got beaten in the midfield, mate.
Beaten in the midfield, beaten with ideas.
Yeah.
Like, Terry, you can close your eyes at times when the pressure comes on, the game's on the line. Like, and people wonder why people don't run ahead of the ball. I fucking won't run ahead of the ball when fucking Zach Williams, Nick Newman, and Mr. Young have got the ball, because I know he's going to fucking bomb out to the wing. And what's amazing is in that fourth quarter, we were bombing it out to the wing, and not one bastard was there. TDK was on his own, surrounded by 4 fucking Pies players. It's like Pies knew our game plan at times better than we did, which is really worrying. And Voss talks about a team defense. You saw it in one quarter, the overlap in offense, in defense. Then he just disappeared. It was almost like it was a bit too hard. Bit of run, a bit of desire. And Terry, have you ever seen a team miss as many fucking handballs as we do? Like honestly, I'm teaching my son golf now. I would say a handball, I can do that. And I've never played this game from birth. Handball's pretty an easy facet to hit someone 2 meters. If my son missed more than 2 1-foot putts, I'd break his golf clubs and tell him to go and play fucking cricket.
What do you think that is down to? Is that a focus? There was a really weird...
I think when the game plan doesn't work, you're seeing 22 men, with all due respect, run home to mum. They're going, oh, fuck, it doesn't work. What do we do? Looking at each other, what do we do? And you know, last week, the other week, when I said Cripps grabbed the game by the cock and balls, we were waiting for one of our stars to grab the game by the cock and balls. When Cripps didn't do it, when Kerno didn't do it, when McKay didn't do it, when Wheatering didn't do it, everyone looks at themselves and goes, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. And there's the problem. Right there, there's the problem. We had George Hewitt thinking he was Usain Bolt. At times, he tried to do it. But this is where we're looking at other players to help, to really get into it. And it feels like to win these short games, we've been waiting for our superstars. And sometimes it's not going to be one, because Collingwood executed their plan on superstars. They wanted Harry to go deep. Charlie Kerner was going to be the deepest target. They manned him up well. Walsh, they knew he was going to do his little pivot, but then they took his options away. Hewitt, they knew that handball was coming through the centre. When he didn't use it, they knew he'd have to take off. They had just executed what we did. They've watched Carlton play. We know what Carlton do. What do you think the opposition do? It's the same fucking things all the fucking time. So suddenly when that goes away, not one of them thought, oh, you know what? Let's try something different, eh? Let's play a short give and go. Let's maybe do what Collingwood are doing and leading into that space to give our defence trouble. No, let's stay in the midfield and leave the gap because it's a bit too fucking hard. I might make the mistake. Someone might tweet about me. Toughen fucking up. You're playing professional football. You've got the fucking life of Riley. This is luxury. Luxury in the real world, man. It's meant to be tough. It's fucking professional sport. Otherwise, every Tom, Dick and Harry would be doing it. Every Tom, Dick and Harry doing it. Some point, you've got to put your big boy pants on and go, we're not fucking the level. And I am tired of fucking defending them. Because if that's what they give in a derby, we might as well just fucking call it, Terry. Because a derby means everything. Whether you're shit or you're good, you fucking die on that field. And they didn't die. They lived to fight another day. Last week, they died. Right? They tried to die. This week, they fucking checked out. They got fucking lucky that they got it within 6 points. If Collingwood executed like we did in that fucking second quarter, game over. It's 40, 50 points loss. It's not good enough, man. It's not good enough. And I'm sorry if the players don't like to hear it. But you are paid a big fucking figure to fucking work it out. And if you can't work it out, we'll find someone who will fucking work it out. It's about time now. We're not talking about, oh, we were close. Vossi said it himself. There is a standard that is far from the standard that I expect of full-grown adults. Far from it. Let alone a professional football team. Far from it. My kids put that in for me. Tell you what, I would question my parenting. I would question it. That's how serious I am, Terry. That was my kids. They would not be having fucking dessert tonight. Not asking for a lot, Terry. Not asking for a lot. Not a lot. But a few of them players will fucking walk off that ground tonight. And if they even have the audacity to say we gave it our all, they're fucking liars.
Yeah. That's the part that it's hard to get through. How do you not leave it all out on the field? Or get your focus right. How does that? How did you let it get there, boys? Yeah,
Mate, it's been brewing since the Adelaide loss. Well done, boys.
yeah.
I'm back, people. But no, serious, man. It's piss poor, bro. It's piss poor.
Yeah.
Like, I can't keep watching the same shit and going, it's okay, it'll get better next week.
Yeah.
Because it ain't getting better, is it?
No, I mean, look, we're talking top four. That's where we need to be. That's where we need to be. The opportunity is now with this group. The next couple of seasons, it's now. So, yeah. Well said.
The pressure rating in that shit quarter was like, what, 140? Do you know what I mean?
Was
I
it-
put
was it
more pressure
really?
pushing a poo out, Terry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People with dysentery put that much muscle power. It's fucking garbage, bro. Against Collingwood. I don't care. Fucking, do you know what I mean? I don't care about anything, but you fucking throw it out, bro. And Vossi has said upper echelons. He's not, I said it last week to you, didn't I, Terry? Now he said that, you're going to get your ass kicked when you fuck up.
Yeah.
Here it is. He wants standards. Here's the fucking standard. You beat a team like Collingwood, who, albeit are the premiers, they were shit, Terry. They aren't the Collingwood last year.
No.
Mark, spot on. No team defence. There's just like 4 people running around in the defensive zone. Whoop-de-doo. Fan-fucking-tastic. Brilliant. Team defence, 4 of you. You know what I mean? Michael Caine defended. That's defence against the Zulus. Asking them to stop throwing spears at him. Rorke's rift. Dying. Gripping his gun. That's what I want to see. Not fucking, it's all right. Oh, shit, Elliott's fucking led again early. They don't see it, Terry. And that's what's killing me, man. It's all right, Voss walking around like this, looking a bit disconsolate. Fucking scream. Fucking break something. Don't care anymore.
Yeah. We're gonna move forward, but why does that feel too familiar? That feeling, it's way too familiar.
Mate, it kills me. And can I just also say, we took a minute's silence to raise awareness for domestic violence. And if you are one of the Collingwood dickheads who has had a wonderful woman call me today in tears because you got in her face and made her slip down the stairs, and if you are one of the many Carlton fans or Collingwood fans coming down the stairs who witnessed that and didn't do anything, you are part of the problem. You are the reason that we have a minute silence for domestic abuse, because just do nothing is the same as fucking doing it. And it's a disgrace. This is AFL football. You're all sat together. You're all allowed to drink. It's a big fucking club. It's basically Cub Scouts in different jerseys. If you've allowed that to happen, you're a fucking disgrace.
Yeah.
An absolute disgrace over a game of football.
Yeah, we will definitely, we'll get to that. We'll get to that this week, no doubt.
On a positive note, I love you all, chat. You're all legends in my book. Even the dickhead Collingwood fans that were in the chat, you make my Saturdays or weekends or whatever day we're on Friday, I couldn't give a shit anymore. You make it worthwhile. Peace, love, and light. I'll see you Sunday for the ratings. That'll be fun.
Good on you, mate. See ya. Wow, that was a rant. Unreal. Dynamic Hypnotic says, why do we always expect Cripps to take the bull by the horns when the game is gone? We can't self-motivate when the game is there to be won. Fair. Jim.
Hello, mate. How you going? Yeah.
Flat.
Like that, huh?
Very flat. Very flattening. Very, very flattening. Just like a dagger in the heart.
Yeah. It's the closest that felt to 2022
Mate.
that I've seen. That's what it feels
Were you
like
there?
to me tonight. No, I'm in Adelaide.
True.
Tonight. Yeah, I wish I had to work the other day. Yeah, it felt like 2022, but obviously it's not as heart-wrenching. But yeah, look, don't get beaten by what you know. And we know we needed to defend transition game. I thought the end of the first, they got on top of us that way when the ball was free flowing backwards and forwards in motion. They looked like the better side that way. And then when you saw the third, albeit Collingwood could have converted a few shots, it was predominantly a stoppage game. And even though we only kicked 3 goals, probably should have kicked 4 or 5, we looked like we had that on our terms for 10, 12 minutes there. And I thought, all right, that's what we need to do here this last quarter. But man, boys just have to, it's the small moments, but they're magnified because we are experts in failure. And until we get over that as a group, and I'm not going to pot any individuals tonight because I saw it from so many tonight. So
yeah,
until we get over that hurdle and be a little bit more professional in those small moments, like letting Dacos just run there, mate. I think there was 2 players. I need to watch it. I'll watch it back later. Just grab the ball, hold it, take the body, get the stoppage. Harry going inside 50. Harry played a superb game. All right. Not a knock on Harry, but it should be coached that in those moments when the clock is so important, but there's not 9 minutes to go there where you can put it into a leading lane. Maybe it's got to go wide 20 out. Then there's A, it goes out of bounds. B, we mark it. C, it goes to ground. And maybe we have a quick shot or someone spalls it through for a behind and then we have the ascendancy. It's little things, but they get magnified because we have failed over and over again in these moments. Takes us back to 2022, Durden kicking inside. Just reminded me of that. Felt like that before it even happened. I don't know why.
Watching it on the screen, I'm curious to see how it sounded for you. I know for me, I mean, my own experience was I got so tense, I got so stressed, I was almost sitting there in silence, and I feel like that was what the crowd was like. I feel like the Collingwood crowd was way more full of voice than what the Carlton crowd was. Did it sound like that on TV?
Yeah. They went the Collingwood chant with 6 or 7 to go. And again, I'm sitting there, just waiting. We're still in this game, but the crowd, you can't blame the crowd though. But the crowd, we haven't won anything. When we win something, then we know we've got that confidence. They've got that confidence. We don't have that yet. And it will come, but we need to win something that's really meaningful. And until that happens, they kind of own us in that aspect. And that's not a knock on the fans, because the fans are brilliant. Rocking up 88,000, that's a sick crowd. It's a really good crowd. And you could tell, when the boys did give the energy, the crowd got right up. You could hear it on telly. But like I said, it's just those small moments that get magnified. But it's very frustrating. It's probably the angriest I've been since the Essendon loss. And I'm trying to, again, not put it on anyone specifically because it's a group thing, selection as well, and coaching. I just think it's all everything. And I also think it can be fixed. So it's not 2018, guys. We're not that team anymore. We are a good side. I do believe that. We're just experts in failure to this point. And once we can just get over that, I think we're going to be okay. What did you think, though?
Mate, thought we got taught another lesson.
Yep.
Thought the way we moved the ball, it just went back to the way it used to be a couple of years ago. Became monotonous. We lost our dare. We lost our confidence. The way the Pies cut the angles to move the ball up the field was impressive. Man, 3 teams in a row that punish you off turnover. The way the Pies did it today was exceptional. It's got to watch it again, but my initial reaction was just not a collective focus. I saw some of our stars tonight not really play with the desperation that you expect in a game like that, which is wild to me. I'm talking about our superstars. I felt like it was energetic running one way, but when it was time to run the other way, we just weren't quick enough. We weren't as desperate enough. And for all the talk about our midfield and getting Chera back and, the final piece is back, mate, what can I say other than full credit to Collingwood? I
agree. Yeah, full credit to Collingwood. They're better in those moments. We're going to take a lot of learnings out of the game and Also, if you're a Carlton fan at the game tonight, well done for getting there. And also, though, I agree with what Pom said. I've already had messages from people at the game that got spat on. So don't
Right.
ever get to their level. Don't ever have a little bit of pride. We do go for a very good team. Let's leave the AFL in, a bit of respect there, and not sink to that disgusting putrid level. Okay, that is associated with Collingwood. So let's be better than that. And anyway, I'll let you get through it, mate. It's going to be a long one for you, but thanks for having me on.
See you, brother.
No.
Hello, Ed.
Tez, thanks for having me on, mate.
No worries, mate. That was tough. It was a tough one to watch.
Yeah, it was tough. I think actually some of what Nick said about just those moments that were really poor is really appropriate. I can think of probably 4 goals in that second quarter where I expected someone just to go a little bit harder, and not here to pot anyone individually, but you get God knows how many chances in a game to really be like, right, this is my chance to get this ball or get this ball out or provide a really serious contest. And 2 or 3 blokes just didn't do that. And you just spoke then that, there wasn't enough desperation amongst some people. And that really felt like that tonight. It felt like they were more desperate than us. And there's 2 things that stand out for me. We couldn't find any space in the midfield. Their tackling was so good, and we just couldn't get the chain of handballs out to that free player who had time to make a really good decision and execute well. And then the second thing, and I know this can change, but geez, we look slow. We looked so slow, and they looked fast and nippy. Those first 5 yards or meters away from the pack, they just killed us with that. Noble, Crisp, Dacos brothers, they're just so quick away from the pack in a way that we weren't. And Walshy was trying to do it, but he was getting caught. And he just wasn't dishing off in a way that allowed us to move forward. Mate, I know there's going to be a lot to talk about and unpack in this game, but just 2 things that strike me about our ball movement right now. We bombed it long, and I don't have a problem with a long kick to tall targets. We've got talls in the side, so you've got to do it every now and then. The problem is that kick has to be taken at a point in the ground where the long kick gives us genuine field advantage. So we were kicking that long one out of defence from, let's say, 20 metres out from our attacking goal. If that doesn't work, that's way too close to our goal for us to feel like we can defend it. It's one good kick in and they've got a shot at goal. We've got to work the ball up to, I'd say, 40, 50 metres and then kick long so that the long kick puts us on the attacking side of the wing. And it didn't enough. Too often we just bombed it long and we weren't really out of our defence. And then the same can be said going into attack. If you're going to bomb it long, you can't bomb it long to 45 metres out. You've got to bomb it long to 15 metres out. And that's where a bit of carnage can happen. And it did happen when we did that. I thought Owi's on the ground in the third quarter. That was like the template of how we want to kick it long. Kick it long, and there's there's real pressure on that marking contest, and there's smalls at the deck. So there's examples there of when it was done well. I thought Newman worked it out a few times nicely, and I thought that's what we want to see out of defence. And then that play where I always kicked a goal, I thought that's what we want to see. But we just couldn't get any space to make that happen frequently.
So weird, because we were talking about it last week. We lost the game because of it last week, arguably, among other reasons. It felt like every player on the field for Collingwood was so well prepared for every player and their nuances for Carlton. They knew exactly what to take away from every player at all times. It was very impressive.
That's a great call. I mean, one of the, these are anecdotal examples, but a really good example of that is that Hewitt can sometimes take one too many steps, I always find. And they were ready for it. Every time he did, he got nailed. And, Walshy's really good at escaping and slamming it on the boot. I feel like there was plenty of smothers from them tonight as well. They were just ready for our contested ball. Just finally, mate, a bit like you, I just hate potting blokes and sort of being like, it's so-and-so's fault, because it just doesn't work like that. But I am a little bit perplexed by some of the selections. Like, if you told me that we were going to miss Matty Kennedy through injury, I would have been pretty annoyed at that. And we effectively didn't have him for 3/4 of the game. I have no idea why he was the sub in a game that required something like that. If anyone's got any insight as to what the goal was there, and yeah, I'm not convinced that Kemp should have been dropped based on the efforts of our talls down back. And I know Wiedering was really good. I'm very conscious of how we speak about Young, but just airily, I didn't think he provided anything that Kemp wouldn't, and Kemp is more competitive on the ground. So retrospectively, I just wonder why those two weren't in the team from the bounce. But yeah, mate, a little bit to think about, hey?
Absolutely. Lots to get through this week. No doubt about it.
Boy.
More questions and answers. Feels normal again in a really weird way. It's an unfortunate. Unfortunately, it's a familiar feeling.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Anyway, mate, thanks for calling in and sharing your thoughts.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me. Go Blues.
Go Blues. Wayne with the 10. No connection, nada, but fresh floaties. When are we going to stop kicking it up in the fucking air and hit a fucking target on the chest? Mate, I'm absolutely ropeable. It's very well said, mate. Oh, gosh. Hello, Joe.
How are you?
Yeah, mate. We'll fight to live another day, but fuck me. We get so worked up for the week every time, and they let us fucking down. Get so into it, man. Get so into this week and this opponent.
There's disappointment, and then there's just putrid performances, and that was one of them. That is right up there, 88 tackles to 54, 22 tackles inside 50
54?
to 54. 88 to 54. Outworked there. Stoppages. Beat us in the hitouts, beat us in the clearances, beat us center clearances, beat us stoppage. Supposed to be our one wood tonight. Inside 50s. 64 to 38.
Ball game. How do we only lose by a kick?
And that is the perplexing part in all of this, is how we only lost by a kick. Yeah. That I have tried to be as positive as possible all season. I still will be. This is obviously emotion talking at the moment, but I'm fucking ropeable, mate, after that. I really am.
Yeah.
Yep. That's so far off the mark, it's not funny. In a game with the build-up that it had, knowing that there'd be a crowd, it's our home game, it's them, and they come out and put in that performance. That is pathetic. It just is. It's just a pathetic performance. And it's not pathetic on the season. In isolation, if we're reviewing this game, that is a pathetic performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's far beyond the standard.
They showed us what the standard is when the pressure's on and when the heat's on tonight. And full credit to them. Full credit. Yeah. I don't care if we had players missing. I couldn't give a fuck at this point. I really couldn't care. That tonight, with the build-up for this game, is absolutely putrid. To go out there, only lay 54 tackles and have 38 inside 50s and get comprehensively beaten across the ground all night. There's no forward connection. The back six at times just look like they've got no fucking idea where they need to be.
Yeah.
And the midfield doesn't want to work hard enough. That was our full midfield, as you said previously, against a Collingwood midfield without De Goey and Mitchell. I shudder to think what they would have done to us tonight if those two played. Yeah. So you can say what you want about our injuries. They beat us at the only area that we should have beat them in tonight. Pressure contest. And yeah, confusing how it was only a kick. Really, really confusing.
Almost
It's
fucking
just,
pinched it
it's,
too.
it's just fucking disappointing, mate. Honestly, it's just so
Yeah.
disappointing every single time. Every time we get to this point in the season, it's like we make football look so hard at times. We make it look like the most difficult game in the world. We really do. And then you look at the ball going the other way, and the opposition make it look like the easiest game in the world. I just don't get it, mate. I don't get it. There are a lot of passengers out there tonight, and they'll know who they are. It's not a place to pot, but there were some moments where some players really, really, really got found out tonight. Yeah, you don't have to watch the replay too closely.
Yeah. No, I can feel the frustration, man. Yeah. Unfortunately, this is what happens when we build up a game so much. We care so much about Collingwood and playing against them.
Yeah, but they care. They care. You
They
can
do.
see they care. You can
They
see
do.
you can see the opposition care. You can see that Collingwood cares so much about this rivalry. They do. That's
Yeah.
why they get up for it. We don't. We just don't get up for it. We don't put our best foot forward in these games. It's over and over and over again. And it's not a meltdown on the season. This is purely in isolation, this game against Collingwood, because we do not have the wood over them at the moment. We just don't.
There's a mental edge that they've got for sure.
It's insane. It is just insane.
Were you at the game?
I was there. Yeah.
Did you feel the crowd? Did you feel that stress
Oh yeah.
from us?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's almost like we went into our shells
Yep.
as a crowd. I know I did. I can't speak on anyone else, but I know I did for sure. And I felt that around me too.
Yep.
Sitting there in silence, like, oh my God. It was almost like I was waiting for the dagger to come. And lo and behold, it did. You know?
It's just crazy, mate. It is crazy.
Yeah. 6-day break.
The stats don't lie in this one. Look at the stat sheet. You don't have to watch the replay to remember some moments, and that is all that needs to be said. That is it.
Yeah.
And if they don't come out next week against Melbourne and lay 80 tackles, well, I'm dead set. 80 tackles next week as the benchmark for pressure and contest, I'll be even more disappointed because you need to bounce back from that. You do. A good team bounces back from that. A poor team puts in the same effort next week. So it's all there. Hey, prime time. They want the prime time slots. We've got Thursday and Friday coming up against two very, very good sides. So put it on the line. Put it all there.
It's a good point. Got to get back into it now. Got to the D's, the MCG on a Thursday. Yeah.
Luckily for me, if we lose next week, I'm off to London the day after for 3 weeks, so I can just get the fuck out of here, which is
You can
nice.
run away, mate. It's all right. We'll hold down the fort.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm optimistic, even though I'm very frustrated and very, very angry. I'm optimistic they'll bounce back next week. We'll get a couple back next week as well, which always helps. But fuck me, mate. There are some serious passengers out there at the moment. Yeah.
Got to address a lot of things. Got to tighten it up again. I can't believe we're talking about deep entries again for the second week in a row. That cost us.
Yeah, you know what's really, really, just to finish off, the most frustrating part of all of this is Collingwood kick 12 goals 13 to our 12 goals 7, as we've done the past 2 out of 3 weeks against Oppo. We've kicked poorly in front of goal, and the Oppo has been clinical, and somehow they win the game.
Make that make sense.
This hurts my head to think about this shit. Honestly, it just hurts. It hurts.
It's wild.
Fucked. Anyway, I'll let you be.
All right, man.
I'll talk to you tomorrow, mate.
Take care, bro. Joel. Hello, mate.
Hi, Terry. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, mate. How are you?
Oh, look, I haven't taken this as, I think, terribly as everyone else, because I hate to say it, but I told you so. And I'm not here to say.
You were ready, mate. You knew last week. No chance to beat the Pies. You were right.
Yeah. Well, that's all on video. It's there to see. It's a sense of deja vu, isn't it, really? I think you're starting to feel it now, Terry, and everyone else. I just let us down. I think I sent you that snap. A friend actually sent me that snap of Harry taking the wrong option, which could have won us the game, but whether that's really, I mean, it would have been, we didn't play well all night. We could have stolen it, but anyway, that's football. But where to from here? I mean, I think you can put a line for the season, as I've said a couple of weeks. We don't have enough good players, dumb footballers. Yeah, we don't have what it takes, Terry. Yeah.
You feel like this is it? This will be. You mean like out of finals, or you mean like?
No, I'm just saying winning the flag. It's all about being number one, Terry. Smoking that cigar. So look, we're too slow, dumb footballers. I don't understand the selection choice, like others have said. Why they keep playing Fantasia, who gets 3 touches every week, mate? Come on.
I thought we found something with Kennedy over the last few weeks. I thought we found a role for him because Carroll was playing. So I thought Chera would come in and absorb that and do it at a higher level because he's a lot more advanced than young Jack Carroll. And I thought we had found something for Matt Kennedy to do for 4 quarters. And I was surprised to see him as the sub as well. I think we all were.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Whether he, I mean, it's the unknown whether he could have made the difference. It's all hypotheticals, really, I guess, at the end of the day. Yeah. So, it's concerning. And I still feel like, that when I keep saying dumb footballers, it's low IQ footballers. I said last week, we just don't have that enough on-field leadership. And the thing which I think pisses me off, and it's going to be controversial. I don't know if I've raised it before, but Harry McKay, kicked 5 goals tonight. I'm thinking about all the people who are going to cop. I'm going to cop a backflash potentially, but whatever. He kind of has us all fooled. I mean, I think at critical moments he doesn't come up with the goods, and I think. Look, that might be unfair, but I see a pattern. I just don't think I just don't see him as a winner carrying us on. He's a big bloke. He just doesn't carry us on his back enough. I have my doubts, and I think, look, just even to throw it in the mix, if we could get a good trade. I mean, look, this is interesting to hear what you think. I mean, I'm honest your opinion.
I just think. Any such conversation like that is not helpful in May. I think if that conversation is going to be had, why would we do it now? You know what I mean? I just don't think it's helpful. I understand the frustration. He should have gone deep with that kick. I know it's frustrating, but I thought Harry was one of our better players on the night personally. You're totally entitled to your opinion, but trading and that sort of talk and delisting, let's worry about that when the season ends, when we can actually action it. I feel like doing it right now doesn't really help the discourse personally.
Because I feel like it does sort of send he has, I mean, to add, I don't know if I've raised this to you before, but I think I might have in a chat. But
he also won the game for us against Brisbane. So, like, he literally won us the game.
Yeah, I know that. That's fine.
Took the ball by the scruff of the neck and kicked the winner. So it's not like he doesn't have it in him.
It was interesting how they made Charlie in the leadership and not Harry. I would have thought it probably would have been the other way around. But then I'm not saying
Harry's coming off a season where he lost his confidence. I don't think adding the leadership to his low confidence from last season I think it was a reasonable decision if you think about it. Harry came off a year where he was down. Giving him more responsibility was...
Well, I'm not an advocate for it. I think his body language in many times throughout the game is questionable. He kicks goals and stuff, but I just don't see it helping the team.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't win us games. It doesn't. I know it. Look, I'm going to put that to bed. But look, that's my bugbear, and I love to be proven wrong. I love to be proven wrong, but it's. Anyway, I think I've made that clear. So where to from here? What do you think? What do we need to do to?
I think we've got 6 days to get ready for Melbourne and figure it out. Get the fundamentals at a better level. Well, it might be another loss, might be another win, but we've got 6 days to get ready for it. And, that's all that matters right now. I mean, you can't look too far ahead. Personally, I don't think you can. We learned that last year. They've got to be really careful not to let this become a hole again. like they did last year and learn from that. Hopefully get another bloke back. Hopefully, just improve the fundamentals of the game and find what they've got. They've got it. It's not like they're not capable.
I don't know, Terry. I don't know if they've got it. Yeah.
Well, I think they've got what it takes to win games. I think they do.
Oh, yeah, but you got to win the ultimate.
Well, you got to win games to get to the finals to win the ultimate. So you got to take it step by step. You can't win a flag in May, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
All right. Well, Joel, appreciate you calling
That's all right.
mate.
That's all right. And hopefully next time I'm on, it's on a win, hey?
I feel like I won't hear from you if we win, but love you anyway.
Just the way the cookie crumbles, unfortunately.
It is what it is, mate. You have a good night. Right. Go Blue. Cal.
Hey, how we doing?
Now we're firing. We're back. We're back, mate.
We're back.
Firing. Yeah, we're a bit of feeling, people care. People want to see the boys get the job done. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. There's certainly passion. That's from everyone that's been on. There is passion. I'll tell you, the sun is up here in Las Vegas. It's now 7 a.m, and I'm on 2 hours of sleep, and I'm probably going to be a little bit more optimistic than others. Yes, it was poor. There is no denying that. We were poor tonight. We were well off the standard that we set of our club. I'm pretty sure Vossi will let them know afterwards. But if I'm going to look at the positives, the big name players, until it got desperate in that last quarter, they were very important. Walsh has been unbelievable in his return. Probably one of the best players in the comp, 30 plus week in, week out. Wiedering, I thought he was absolutely fantastic tonight. Took the main forwards out of the game for Collingwood. Geordie Boyd, he went to Jamie Elliott when he was... Zach started on him. Obviously had a couple rough moments in that first quarter. Geordie went to him and almost took him out of the game. And then, just the little bits in the midfield as is being mentioned. Almost doubling our tackle count, almost doubling the clearance ball. It was just far off where we'd expect us to be. And it's I think a lot of us will immediately go back to last year where we started the season so well, lost one that we shouldn't have, and then the season collapses. We're playing better than we were at the same point last year. There is no denying that, despite today was poor. We are going to be all right. Top 4 is where we must be if we are a genuine chance. I don't see us making a genuine push from 5th. There's too many good interstate teams that will have to make a trip to a prelim like last year. It becomes too tough then. If we're gonna win it, we must play the first week either in a double chance game in Melbourne. Gives us the best shot, obviously. But
for sure,
a performance like that tonight was well off that. And as you've been saying, premierships are not won in May. There is still many months before it gets to the pointy end. We've got some good names coming back, but we're hurting without them. There's no denying that. We are hurting. Saad, Gov, and Doc, they're big 3 down back, and they look a little bit disconnected. I'm not going to name specifics, but you can tell they're not as connected as they were in our big run last year. And whether that is literally just getting the names back that are a bit more in sync, or what that is exactly, I'm not too sure. But I in that optimism I was talking about at the start, once we get those names back, then I think collectively we can have more confidence.
I mean, in the meantime, we've got to find who's going to be there and who's going to, stake their claim while the others are missing. Like, for sure, we're missing Saad's poise. I mean, he's an all-Australian level player. We're for sure missing Gov's interceptability. Doc, wherever we put him, seems to be a positive. For sure, we're missing them. I think the reality is we're going to have to find a couple of new ones. I didn't mind what I saw from Chincotta in contest tonight, personally. I don't know how everyone else saw it. I thought he was one of a few that every contest he played with a hunger and and a real desire. Took it personally not to get beaten. I don't know how the rest of you saw it, but these are the types that I think are worth persisting with. Some of them, I don't know. Their opportunities are here, and it seems like they're not taking it.
Yeah. I mean, a couple of weeks ago after the Giants game, we were talking about how good our depth is, and now it almost seems like it's flipped. The guys who are getting their opportunities, and they'll have like one good game, and they've earned their spot, and then the 2 weeks after that, they do the little things that maybe shows a lack of experience at the top level. And you mentioned Chincotta, like he competed well, and I applaud him on that. It's not easy just stepping back into a 90,000 people arena for your first game back of the year. But there's just a couple of mistakes that the inexperienced backs made, and you could tell that Collingwood, they'd been in the close games countless times in the past couple of years, and they knew a little bit more of how to deal with those situations. And we've had our fair share of close games in our last 10, 15 games, the back half of last year and start of this year, but they were the better team all day and deserved the win. Yeah. Not by a kick, I can tell you that. We were a little bit off.
Probably flattered. Scoreboard maybe flattered us a little bit towards the end.
And to think we were in the game, we were there with 90 seconds to go. People were mentioning it as well. The kicks inside 50. We only had 38 for the game. A lot of them, apart from the first quarter, we're doing exactly what we need to do, getting him from about 70 out and then going long to Tom, Harry, Charlie. That's what we need to be doing. That's where we're getting our goals. Then we start doing the kicks from the center circle that only get to center forward, and it's not threatening. It's defendable. It's predictable, and they generated countless. I think it was like almost all of their first half scores were from the back 50. They were pumping us from their back half, and we had no answers.
Yeah. Some really good points you make. Yeah. What time is it for you right now?
It's just hit 7 in the morning.
7 a.m.?
Yep, 7 a.m.
You've been up since what, like 3 a.m.?
I set my alarm for 1:30, but I was up at 12:30. So I've had 2 hours of sleep. I'm so dead. I'm going
crazy. No, I appreciate you staying up and get some rest. See you in 6 days. Just got to turn this shit around.
That'll be my last game over here, and then I'm back.
Good stuff. Looking forward to it, mate. Take care.
Good. Take care.
See ya. Paul Sebastiani.
Help if my mic was on. It's that kind of night, isn't it?
This is a better look.
Yeah,
this is a really nice look. I think that you found your length of the beard.
I needed to. It was getting out of hand, mate. It's really getting out of hand. You can actually see my beautiful face now. Wasn't too beautiful at the final sign. I'll give you the tip.
Nah, man. Nah, it wasn't.
One of those nights, eh? After quarter time, it all went tits up after quarter time, didn't it?
How? Like, what happened?
I don't know. Just to me, it's all just mindset. Everything is above the shoulders with this group. Everything is above the shoulders, and you could just see that there was. It's not that they didn't want it; they definitely wanted it, but it felt like it just meant that little bit more to Collingwood, like it has for the last 10 to 15 years. And they were just better. And people are telling me post game, "Oh, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. It's going to be okay." We don't want to be okay. We want to be better than okay. We want to be the best. We want to be the number one. We want to be the greatest. And unfortunately, games like that, you get showed up, and Collingwood were brilliant tonight. And when you don't live up to the principles with that get you to where we were last season, contest and pressure, you don't live up to the principles, you can't win. Simple as that. And the margins are so fine in this game, especially against a team like Collingwood. You give them a sniff, they're going to take it, aren't they? And I thought Noble tonight was very, very poorly handled by our coaches and very, very poorly handled by our forward line. I thought our midfield was really down. Didn't really like what they did. A lot of fumbles. Chera was fumbly. Didn't like Cripps' game. I thought he tried to do too much. Walsh wasn't as effective, I think, as we've seen in the first couple of weeks he's been back. I didn't notice him as much as I did against the Giants and last week against Geelong. And I thought our there was some numbers doing the rounds on the socials that we had conceded 6 goals to, I think, to the halfway point of the second term or whatever it was. We'd conceded 6 goals to from midfield defensive area stoppages. So in between the centre square and in between the centre of the ground and Collingwood's forward 50. Our forward 50. Collingwood's defensive midfield area, their stoppages in that area, we conceded over 6 goals in that particular phase, and that was a season high for them. So if you don't buy into defence, tackle pressure was down, contest was down, but then you look at it and we still have a chance to win the game, and we don't take it. Exactly like the Adelaide game. And the lack of intensity from a few of our defensive moments was not that of a team that you can put a lot of trust in going forward to the short term. The only thing we have to trust in them at the moment is basically what they've done last year and a few moments we've had this year. So I will say I think we may be getting to the tipping point with injuries. It seems that could potentially be the case. We just don't have that zip. We didn't have that zip after quarter time. So I don't know. It's disappointing. It's very disappointing. I thought the performance just wasn't there tonight. And the way they flicked the ball around at stoppage and moved the ball around from stoppage they beat us there in the end. Or they effectively broke even. And if you break even with us at stoppage and our other game's not going with the turnover game, then we're going to get beaten. But I don't know. Maybe the outs come back in and the performance is spiked, but it was very, very poor, I'd have thought. And I think, I don't know, do you feel there's anger? I don't feel there's anger. I feel there's a lot of despondency. That's what I
anger from the fans.
Yeah, I don't feel there's anger. I feel there's a lot of despondency.
I think I feel anger for the first time from the fans this year. I'm just. It's just.
Anger's not the word for me. Disappointed is the word, which cuts deeper.
It's frustrating. It's disappointing. I think also. I mean, it's fucking Collingwood, mate. What do you mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's we, for not whatever reason, we know exactly why we get up for this game as fans. And we care about we really get it amongst the rivalry, you know?
I think that the frustrating thing for me was that Voss laid down the gauntlet in his press conference last week and really put the acid on them. And they just didn't seem to. I thought there would be a little switch. And I thought, okay, that's probably the right time to do it leading into a game like this. But I don't know, maybe they got a few things wrong at selection. I thought Chincotta handled Hill pretty well. He didn't do a hell of a lot until he kicked that important goal. And then, Dacos at the stoppage. That was a chasm into what happened at stoppages all night. They sort of had blokes sweeping around the back and running through, and Noble killed us and Dacos killed us. And yeah, it was a frustrating night. And, we had, Young and Williams were not great, obviously, but what are you going to do? You pinpoint individuals. It's not right. And our forward pressure from the smalls is just, it's not good enough, right? It's just, there's no denying it. When you don't have, Fogarty's so important to that. Motlop, look, Fogarty, Martin, and Motlop, whenever they're bloody fit, will provide such a difference to that forward line. And you saw it in obviously the second half of last year. So it's simply just the case of the personnel not being good enough at the moment, not doing the basics right for long enough. To me, it's just personnel as well. And I think we got a few things wrong with regards to tactics tonight as well, just making switches. I thought Cunningham just let Noble get off the chain a little bit too much. I did think Cunningham was good in patches. But again, it does, doesn't it? It does. That's a fair point.
He does look really. Yeah. There was a passage of play, I think, in the second quarter where he didn't blaze away. He sort of took maybe 5 more steps and waited for the option to present itself. I'm like, oh, where's Cunningham been? And
then 20 minutes later, he went to handball to Walsh and he missed him. Mate, you're a good kick. Go back, take the kick.
True.
There are a few moments where we just rushed it and we fumbled and we missed handballs. And Jimmy makes a good point on the chat here. The tackle count was terrible. How many missed tackles did we have tonight? We're playing with the slicked up oil on our hands or something.
Tackle's a mindset. That's a mindset, isn't it? Your tackle pressure is a mindset.
That's what we said at the start of this. You know,
Because
and
it's
if
not
you
like they're small bodies where we used to say, oh,
No,
they're young bodies. No, they are all capable of enforcing and brutalizing opponents.
no, and I think it's funny when you look at the performance, it was so far and away of what I think our optimal standard is. But we're still there. We're still, somehow, some way, we're still in the game.
Yeah.
Whether it was because they got a cock a hoot from the fans or whatever it was, that they have been there, but that's not good enough. That is not good. Being there is not good enough. You have to get over the line. It's not the results are not necessarily concerning me. It's the performances against Adelaide and now this against Collingwood, which concern me. And when you look at the performance in isolation, this Collingwood game is nowhere near the level. Nowhere near the level. And that is all. It's all up in the head. But how can they not be ready for that? That's the query. Is it the personnel out there? Maybe it could be, could very
Do you
well be.
think- I'm very careful to talk about ifs because I don't like to. Because the reality is this is what happened. But the reality was minute 10 to go. It's a draw.
Yeah.
Let's say we get it right, go down
Yeah.
behind or
Yeah.
a goal. Do you think
Yep.
we're still frustrated with the performance?
To a point, I think so. Yeah, I think I felt that during the Fremantle game, and I think in patches during the North Melbourne game as well. And even in the GWS game, the first half was a bit dodgy, and then we got it right in the second half. So we're playing in patches at the moment, but and the problem is too, you don't want to get into the mindset of if McGovern, Sard, Martin, Motlop, Fogarty, if they all play, we win. Naturally, the output of those plays is going to ensure that we perform better than we did. There's no doubt about that. You can't deny the obvious, but you can't take that mindset into games either. We just got a lot wrong tonight. It's just the errors and the just no contest and pressure. That's our principle, mate. That's us. That's the blueprint for us. Contest and pressure, and we didn't bring it tonight.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I don't know why. I really don't know why. I wish I know. I was lost for answers after tonight. I wasn't angry during the game. Just more disappointed with what they dished up after quarter time after starting so well. We started so well. They got two very soft free kick goals, and I thought we defended really well in the first quarter, and I thought we were really up for it. And then after that, it all fell away, and I'm lost for answers. And Collingwood, Nick Dacos just showed us all why. He's arguably one of the better players in the competition. I thought he was great. He was.
How does he
fantastic.
kick both those goals? That's that's going to be looked at. I haven't seen the footage yet, but how does he get free for both of his goals at stoppage?
So Walsh was on him at that goal, at that match-winning stoppage, just from what I saw, and Walsh made the judgment call. Am I going to go attacking side and let him go and try to win the ball, or am I going to stay with him? And we had hands to the ball when Walsh took off. And then Chera, as he went to pick it up, fumbled it. And that's all it took. That was all it took. And those are those little moments where, and we've done it all year, we get first hands at the stoppage and we don't win the clearance, or we get tackled, or we fumble the handball, or it's an errant kick forward. And do you feel this is what I was thinking? So Chincotta, right, plays a role, right? So Bobby Hill, I know he kicks that goal in the last quarter, but do you feel though at the moment we've got players who lock down that role? Okay, whether it's these smalls doing these decoy runs and Chincotta locking down certain opponents and whatnot, but I feel as though when we don't get anything else out of them, it's like this is one and done. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
I feel that that's a big thing for us at the moment. It's like, oh, this is your role, that's that. And why did they leave Matt Kennedy out for? He's been fantastic for us this year.
Yeah, especially the last three, especially in the last couple.
I'd love to know what, and I've still got to go back and watch it. I'll go back and watch the press conference, but I don't know why. I'd love to know what the argument was to leave him out and bring certain players in and out. Camp, leaving him out as well. So I don't know. The great Pato's just walked in, our videographer of Blues Radio. Hello, Pato.
Hello, Pato.
I don't know. It just feels that way, I was shocked to see Kennedy out tonight, but I thought he came on and did okay as a sub. But
are we due to get anyone back before the D's? McGovern.
McGovern, yeah. Who's I'd say he's I'd arguably say he's one of, if not, he's one of our most important players. I would suggest he just gives you that zing and that drive off. And people saying that we left Kemp out, but we left Kemp out, but we've kept Young in. Just doesn't. I don't want to slam him or anything, but I just feel that what you may lose out with Kemp, height or defensively, I just think he gives us a bit more aggressiveness. I think he gives us a bit more nous in that back line. Do you know what I mean?
Have an intercept player, really?
No, not one. I can't really remember Wiedering do it either. He locked down my check pretty well, but yeah, just one of those days, eh? Fine margins, mate. That's the game, isn't it?
They
And you
get
can't
smaller
give a
and smaller at the top.
They do, and they do. But the problem is now is that and Pommy said it, the time is now, mate. If it's not now, when?
Yeah.
If it's not now, when? How long can you wait? The pressure's on, and this is the year. So we've had two moments this year, right? And this is what you and I were talking about during the preseason. When you've performed well, like we did last year, now the expectation comes onto you after you have performed well. This group has never, ever had that in their life.
Yes.
How do you deal with that? So the expectation tonight was after 2 weeks where you would probably say we performed, maybe not against Geelong, but we've been okay. Everybody expected us to win tonight for the first time against Collingwood in a long, long time, right? We didn't do it. So how are they going to handle the weight of expectation when you've come off a good season? How do they deal with it now? We don't know because we've never seen it.
True.
So you've just got to go get your troops back as best as possible, review the game. I know it sounds cliche and boring, but that's how you have to do it. Cliche and boring. Get back into it. Cool heads always prevail. What do people want to trade him and get rid of him? And why do we get there? It's pointless there. Like, mate, what are we doing, mate? Like, mate, we did that last year, mate. What's this? This serves nobody.
We can't trade Harry in May. We can't trade Harry.
A wise man once said, "You are either helping or hindering." Right? You're either helping or hindering. You know, people. Yeah. Harry should have gone long, right?
Yes.
Right. Harry doesn't play tonight. We ain't getting nowhere near him. We are getting nowhere near them. He has been arguably one of our best players this season by a mile. If you're going to pick out one game and one moment, well, then do it like you said against Brisbane. Do it when he did it. You know, he was good against the Giants late in the piece too. So we win as a team, we lose as a team, we draw as a team. Yeah. That always has to be the mentality. And, you know, one game at a time. Let's get some troops back next week. And you know, people say that the season's over. Well, don't go to the footy then. Don't go. Just don't go. If the season's over, don't go.
Yeah.
Don't come on the fan cams. Don't do anything. Just don't go. If the season's over, what for? What's the point? You know, we'll be there next week. We'll be there next week
with those on.
And you know what? You know what you've got to do? You've got to dip your lid to the Pies. They were better than us tonight.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And now we just need to get better. So 2 losses in a row. It's the first time it's happened this year. And we move on to next week. Yeah. What are we going to do? There's nothing else we can do. The sun rises tomorrow. We demand better. We don't want okay. We do not want okay. We want to be better. We want to be the best. And that's what we all need to demand of each other as a football club. So when do we play them? Next Thursday night.
Thursday night against the D's.
Beautiful. Quick backup. That's what you want.
Absolutely.
What happened to Williams, by the way?
So the app said hamstring. Then Twitter said he was subbed out with a glute. Yep. I don't know. I haven't seen anything post-game yet. Maybe those of you who have watched Boss's press conference can help us out in the chat. I don't know. But I think the reality was he was I think Elliott got off the leash early in that game. Had a few.
Yeah, he did. No, he did. He did. He definitely did. Boyd went on to him and tried to lock him down. But, someone else popped up. A guy called Nick Dacos. Goes right at the game, that young kid.
Fuck.
It is what it is, mate. It is what it is. We can't change the result now. We can't change the performance. They've just got to go into next week and onto the Demons. It's as simple as that.
Absolutely. When are you off?
When am I off?
Yeah.
Next week. Friday. But having said that, if I know that they can't win the league before I jet off, I ain't going, mate. There's
Fair
not a hope in hell. I might change the flight. God, it'd
Yeah.
be a bad week if Arsenal lose to Bournemouth on the weekend and City win 5-0 against Wolves. I don't know how I'll be able to handle that.
Yeah. Fingers
That's going to
crossed,
be.
mate.
All right.
Yeah.
I hope I've levitated the situation somewhat
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
make
I
the
think-
sleep a little bit better tonight.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
My pleasure, mate. Much love.
See ya.
Have a good night. Ciao.
Yuval, long time.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You can see me.
I can see you.
Well, then we're talking.
We are talking.
Yeah, what to say? Yeah, well, I think we've got a lot of frauds on our list. I think we're not. There's players that just might be letting us down.
Yeah.
That we rate. I just want to use. I went to the Sydney final last year and was sitting next to some young Sydney fans, and they were so arrogant. They were like Carlton fans of the '80s, right? You know that. And I remember they were yelling out and they were going, "George Hewitt, a really average Sydney player. You know, like he's their best midfielder." Something along those lines. And watching Hewitt tonight, I was thinking maybe they know something we don't. I mean, he's pretty good, but, he turned it over, I think, 3 or 4 times, like caught, like he was pantsed, when we were getting a move on. 3 distinct turnovers he did that were absolute stinkers, that he just could have handballed 40 metres ahead of him, into space or to a player running past. But he thought, no, I'll be the hero and I'll get caught. I mean, Cripps did it once or twice early in the game, but we were 21 points up, for fuck's sake,
Yeah.
We sort of forget that. We forget that we were dominating them. And
we were in control. Definitely in control. And I think that's probably why in the end we were so close, because we got on top early and then we spent all the tickets that we had earned and then gave up a few more,
Yeah, it's just, you can't. I just had this feeling there was going to be some Collingwood, their culty magic was going to happen, and it had to be bloody Dacos, like it just had to be,
It had to be.
It always comes down. They all pray to whatever, and then Collingwood, and then poof, out of their asses, some bullshit happens. Anyway, look, they were better than us because they came back, they had the lead, and they got the lead back. I mean, we got the lead, and we couldn't hold the lead, and they just ran over us. And there's just a few players. I don't know. I mean, even Charlie, I went to the Brisbane game and he was electrifying. But I think Charlie I got a feeling he's a bit shell-shocked from last year's final series. Like, he doesn't seem the same. But I think also teams have found out our structure with, the bombing it long and just hoping that Charlie's magic or something picks us out of the wilderness.
We definitely didn't make it easy. We don't make it easy on ourselves. We make it easier to defend, for sure.
But we're the turnover kings. I mean, our good teams score of us on rebound, and we're really bad at rebounding. Punishing them on the way back. Like, we were really bad punishing the Pies. As I was saying, Hewitt punishing him on the way back 3 times. That guy got caught with his pants down every freaking time. I got to look forward to what young Saba has to say, because there's something going wrong there with our rebound game. It's really it's actually dysfunctional both ways.
Do you think that rebound game improves with simply just having McGovern and Sard in that back mix? Or do you think even if they were there?
I don't know, because even if they're rebounding, it's what happens when it's in the forward line. I mean, it's that difference of whether Cottrell kicks it straight or Cunningham gives clean delivery into the forward line, that, even if they're touching up Charlie, someone else can come in and kick a goal, or ask a goal, like a Kennedy or someone can sweep in and just kick one out of the air, like the Swans. The Swans seem to be able to do that at will, and just, just destroy teams. The problem is next week we have to destroy Melbourne. We can't have we'll win by 5 points and a heart stopper, or we lose by 5 points. We actually have to come out and say, no, we can fucking destroy good teams. We don't play them into form, So if these teams are out of form, like, Geelong, Geelong are in form, but it was like, I'm listening to your socials and guys going, we should beat Geelong, we should beat Geelong. They're all old and crappy, but we don't beat them. We don't beat Collingwood. We don't come, Vossi goes, oh, that was a terrible game against Geelong, and we just do another terrible game against Collingwood. I haven't seen his presser yet, but if I was him, I'd go, who are these fucking idiots, They were playing so well. Why do they want to lose games? Why do they make it so hard to kick a fucking goal? Anyway, that's all I have to say. Look, we'll be back next week, but I would like to see us beat fucking Melbourne by 5 goals. They're pretty good, but they're vulnerable. Why can't we do it? Why do we have to kick a goal in the last second? Just fucking, we got a 9-point lead. Make it 19 points in the last quarter and then make it 25,
I will take a win.
I'll
take a 4 points. I'll take the 4 points however we get it.
But we want top 4. This is the thing. Yeah, we'll take the 4 points, but we don't just want 4 points. We want top 4.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Anyway.
Yeah. Thank you for calling in, mate. Thank you.
Yeah, cheers.
Bye. Tyler.
Terry, fuck me. I can't believe it.
Dear.
Fucking Collingwood, mate. I take this. My family, we take the Collingwood game fucking seriously. We take it so seriously.
Same.
Oh, I just don't think.
Why do we do it to ourselves? It's one game.
I don't know. I just don't know. But look, you got to give credit to Collingwood. They were the team that wanted to win, and they gave it to us. But yeah, defensive pressure. I don't know what's going on with it. It just is not holding up for some reason. Or is it just decision making, or is it just certain players? I don't know. It's really becoming, and it's being mentioned all the way through the week and also the past week against Geelong. That's one of our biggest issues. So we've got to address it. So then that means if we are dead set focused on our defensive pressure, our centre clearances, and our stoppages, we should have friggin' blown them out of the water.
Yeah.
If we were really saying that, okay, this is the team to take us to a grand final, not only to a grand final but to a flag, they've got to do better. They've got to show that. I don't know. I think it's they went into their shells a bit. I don't know, but they can do it. They know they can do it. But they've got to show. They've got to prove it. They've got to just do it in the moment, not in the moment. They've got to just show to themselves, right? The good teams will put you away no matter what. No matter if you've got no McGovern, you've got no Sarge, you've got no Doherty, and all Marchbank, or the list goes on. Like you should be able to come out every week and just give it your all. Look, against Geelong, we lost, but we gave it our all. We walked off that ground absolutely spent. I don't know. I'm just lost for words. Terry. But I just want to say, like, will McGovern and all of them be a big help? Yes, they will. But I think Parlow touched on it. Like, what we had, like the likes of Chera come back. I love Chera. He's a great player. but one player will not make the difference. It will not change. They've got, if McGovern and all of that are going to come in, they've got to come in ready to go, mindset right. We're going to win. We're going to go for it. There's no point in coming in and then the thing will be that they've got to play in. You know, they haven't played for a while and all of that. They've got to get some experience back and all of that. If you're coming into this side, you got to be ready to go. 100%, no matter what. So I'll see how that goes, but I reckon McGovern should make a massive impact. But I don't get that Kennedy sub thing. I think that was a poor decision on selection for that. But then again, I don't know. You just can't blame it on selection every time because it shouldn't matter who's out there or not. They should be playing. They should be playing. They should be playing for for the team, and I don't. Fuck. Fucking Nick Dacos again.
Oh, we're gonna pinch. Honestly, I really thought we were gonna pinch it when De Koning stepped up. I thought, okay, here we go. Someone is coming to take the game by the scruff of the neck. How De Koning and you know, I really, you know, and then Charlie finds Cottrell and ties the game up, and I'm thinking, wow, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. And then we had a stoppage in D50 before the Nick Dacos goal. I thought, wow, we're gonna go down the other end. You know, actually, you know what? When I look back, maybe I shouldn't look back to 2022, but you know, that passage of play, Maynard to Penderbury over. In the moment, I thought, in my crazy reality, we might be able to, you know, figure this out. But to be dead honest with you, I couldn't figure out which players would make those important plays like what the Pies did back then. I don't think we have those guys playing right now.
No,
who
we
would
don't.
make those important kicks. And let's be honest, we didn't play that bold, instinctive game through the corridor like they've been doing for a lot of this season so far. So we were pushing shit up.
Oh yeah, we were, and look, I'll just say this as well. Like Ed pointed out that so our game style, if we're going to bomb it, as he said, right, you don't want to be kicking it in from like the center, like from the center, and then all of a sudden you've got they're too far out to score, so that makes it very difficult to make any sort of play at the ball. But the way I see it, okay, so you know how like we were slowing the game down, and I compare this to like what Geelong did or like what Adelaide did to us when that game was slowed down and it was like man on man and all of that, and they got it to their forward 50. Now they didn't bomb it in necessarily. They were.
You there?
There were players. If you are 40 meters out, you need to lead at the ball. Now, the long bomb kick, as Ed said, works more when it's kicked closer to the 50, when it's right on the doorstep. When you are playing a stagnant type footy game, they need to be, or the way they were delivering it in, the likes of Harry, the likes of Charlie, or even Owies, or any of those players, they need to lead. They need to find a way to get away from one of their players. That's what needs to happen. If you want to play like that, that's how you're gonna have to score. And I think, in all honesty, the bombing. You're right. We were going back to our old ways and just hoping that we have the likes of Harry or Charlie just clunking it. Like, it's not always going to work. So the only way you can do it is if you have that ability to switch on the fly and go, okay, right. So if we bombed it in last time, it's not going to work. So right, okay. So what do we do now? How about someone bloody lead at the ball? You know, I'd rather take a shot at goal from 40 meters out than bombing it in and praying to God that someone marks it. So, I don't know. I don't know, Terry. There's so much we can draw out of this game of like, oh, we should have done this, we should have done that. But in the end, like, the players have got to do it. They've got to do it. But bring on next week. Bring on Melbourne. MCG, let's go again.
Absolutely.
Look, I just want to get you very, very quickly get your thoughts on more to do with what's it going to take for this back line? What do you like? I don't know. I just saw. I hate naming players, but there were points when like I saw Youngie, he just stood still. And all of that. It was like a deer in headlights or something like that. It's that synergy that we don't have in that back line at the moment. Do you think it's more to do with less experience in the back line, or is it more to say that they're out? I
get what you're saying. I think clearly our first choice defenders are not available.
Yeah.
And I think what we're seeing when they're not available is a lack of cohesion with those that are playing, because the back line is changing every week for the last 3-4 weeks now. Every week it's changing. So every time it changes, you have to adjust to somebody else's, movement patterns, and you kind of have to be connected mentally with your back six. You've all got to be on the same page, and that's something that was a strength of ours last season. A lot of them were available for a lot of the season. McGovern played a lot of games. Sard played a lot of games. Wiedering played a lot of games. So Newman played a lot of games. You get what I'm saying? So I think we're hurting in that regard. But I think I put the loss more on the midfield, to be honest, tonight.
Oh, no, I agree. I agree 100%. Yeah. That was our midfield 100%.
The best first choice midfielders were all there tonight. Yeah. All of them.
Yeah.
So
if they're not, and if the midfield ain't firing, well then you got no hope. You honestly, like, you need them. Even if we're playing the shittest game of the shittest game, they can still deliver in patches and all of that. They just need to find. They just need literally to go, okay, come on, let's just go. Like, what have we got to lose? Like, seriously, like, just give something. Just give something. That's all they need to do. That's all they need to do. But anyway.
Yeah. No, thank you, mate. Thank you so much for calling in, and it was a good chat.
Yeah. Next week, Terry.
Next week, mate.
Let's do it. Let's beat the D's. Let's beat the D's.
See you on Thursday night.
See you on Thursday. See ya.
Bye. Hello, mate.
The fuck was that, bro?
I know, man. To the pies, mate. Come on.
Bro, if Voss's presser didn't G him up last week, and look, we came out, we had a good first quarter, looked all right. But those 3 quarters, bro, we didn't deserve it tonight, man. And I just heard you say it's the midfield, like it's on the midfield. I 100% agree, man. They were all there. They were missing the goalie. They were missing Mitchell. They had no right to beat us out of the middle, and they just had their way with us, bro. I don't even know what the stats are. I haven't looked at any statistics, but it felt like we just got belted just across the board.
I mean, like, I get it. There were errors in defense. I don't know, the way I look at it, there's no alternative because there's no one else to really change it up. Maybe you can make an argument Kemp could have played. Okay, fair enough. But in that midfield, you've got like top liners. Well, we say are top liners, not just for us, but like in the league. So weird, man. Because like 3 weeks ago, it was like, I'll wait till Walsh is playing. And then it was like, wait till Chera's back. It's like, that was.
Well, they're back.
Part. That was a really interesting part of the night,
bro. I needed to go for a walk, so like I got off the train and I could have got picked up. I could have Ubered it, but I went on 1 hour. I literally just got home maybe 10 minutes ago, and I was just trying to process what I just saw. And because I hate like I hate straight after a game, you're over like, you're too passionate, you're too like into it. And so I'm like, oh, I'm gonna process this. I'm gonna meditate on this as I walk. And Zach Williams today, the first name that pops into my head is Zach Williams. He lost all confidence tonight, man.
Yeah.
There were moments where he was just so out of his element. And it's like, I'm a fan of Zach Williams, kind of. He was just so out of his element tonight. And I don't know if it was maybe he was not really ready to play this week. Like, I know he was a bit underdone or whatever, but he just looked gone. Lewis Young looked gone. Even Cripper didn't look his best. And yeah, we just lack system tonight. We lacked the system. And it just, I don't know if our system holds up against the best teams. It did against GWS. I mean, when we got it on our terms, but it's when it's not on our term, that's when it's almost like, all right, we just resort to just long bombs down the line, and just hope for a mark or a free kick. And just so much didn't go our way tonight. And I felt like it was our doing. Collingwood's pressure was amazing. All credit to them. But we did ourselves no favors tonight, honestly. Our mids just didn't work hard enough. Forward pressure was non-existent. I think at one stage it was like 30 tackles to 9 or something like that. It was hard, man. It's just we're doing it hard right now. Do you think it's personnel?
I think it's a big part of it. I think it's a big part of it, but I mean, what can you do? You can't control it. There's probably 8 of them that would play if they were available. I don't know. But, I mean, in the meantime, I mean, that was the case a bit last year as well. And then we found Jordan Boyd, we found Chincotta. We found Brody Kemp, and they emerged. So I'm kind of looking to see who that's going to be in this patch now. Because right now I'm hoping this will be the period of time when you're missing the most players that you're going to miss for the rest of the season. I fucking hate to think what it would look like if we were missing much more than what we are now. So I'm kind of waiting to see who's going to step up and lock in a spot while the rest aren't available. So that way, when they do come back, we've got some, selection headaches. But I just think we're in a tough patch, and maybe we've just entered a tough patch, and we just got to ride it out. What else can we do? That's what else can we do?
Yeah, spot on. Look, the way I look at it, we're not getting smashed, right?
Yeah.
And there's plenty of upside.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Our system, or the attempt at our system tonight was just unacceptable, man. It's not sustainable at all. Bad decisions. I don't know what's wrong with our foot skills. We over handball sometimes. It's very frustrating. And I'm chill now because I went on my long walk. If you spoke to me an hour ago, bro, I would have listed players from A to Z, mate. I was just bang, bang. But you walk on it, you think about it, there's a lot of upside. We just got to cop this. We got to cop it on the chin. And it's a filthy one to cop on the chin. Not just because it's Collingwood, but we just played so poorly. And I think the scoreline flattered us, to be honest. I really do.
I think so.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Bro, what do? We cop it on the chin. You have to move on. You have to. We proved last year it's a long season, and we can't just turn on the boys now. They need us now. Man, those Collingwood supporters tonight, they were clearly the minority. They showed us how loud a stadium should be. And this is what we talk about, bro. This is what we talk about.
That is what is in our control.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's in our control. And I agree. They were the dominant crowd. Facts.
Yeah.
They were the dominant crowd. We didn't. I mean, for whatever reason, I just said earlier on the show, I felt myself get quiet because I was feeling this stress and anxiety and like all of it in one. And I was like almost paralyzed. I was sitting there in silence because I was feeling like, we were going to let it slip, or I just wasn't comfortable. And it probably was like that for a lot of other people too.
Something about Collingwood, man. They have this weird grip over us, bro.
Yeah, they do.
And we get one back, and they just clobber us, bro.
Yeah.
But it's part of our journey, man. It's going to be even sweeter when we lift that cup one day.
Inshallah.
Big inshallah, bro. Yeah, all good, bro.
Thanks for calling in, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
See ya. Chris Beach.
Terry. I know Joe touched on the number of tackles earlier in the program. Good on him for doing so. It really showed how far away we are. But he didn't touch on one other part of that, which really has opened my eyes now as to why the hell we were that bad tonight. And that, Terry, is the tackles inside 50. Yes, we laid 54 tackles to their 88. Okay, they laid, of those 88 tackles they laid, the Pies, 22 of them were inside 50. Our tackles inside 50 is under 10. Under 10. It's 9. If that isn't alarm bells ringing against a side that is a premiership winning contender from last year, and maybe even this year if they keep this going, then I don't know what is. Because that is disgusting against a rival that we are supposed to be beating every year.
Yeah. I mean, we only had 38 entries for the game, which remarkably low for what we've been doing over the last month. Like, I know we've lost against Geelong and, we lost against the Crows, but it wasn't due to a shortage of creating opportunities and getting the ball in there. It was for other reasons. But tonight was a total restriction from the Pies on, letting us get the ball inside 50. That was so well organized defensively. There was I'll say this in the review as well, but there was a little moment when, I don't know if you saw it, when they were doing the introductions for every Carlton player. They go, number by number. During the warm-ups there, the Collingwood back group, I don't know if this means anything at all, but the defensive group was the Collingwood, 6 or 7 of them were all huddled in super tight. I remember seeing it thinking, oh, wow, I wonder what that will look like and what they're talking about there and what that's going to look like at the end of the night. And, full credit to their defense, their defenders and their defense, because they said it earlier. It's like they learned in the game. They got better as the game went on, the Pies, and they learned what they needed to do in game. That's why they're the premiers, I guess.
No, you're spot on, Terry. It was like, of the players that were there, on the park or on the bench, they 3 boa constrictors. For those of you that don't know, they are snakes that put pressure on you if they get around you in any way, shape, or form. And every time something like that happened where we got the ball or whatever, we were shut down. We couldn't get anywhere near it. And even if we did, someone like Darcy Moore or players like him were just getting it out with ease, and we couldn't get there. Yeah, okay, we lost by a goal, which, at the final siren, I was pretty filthy over, because, we should have been up there. We should have been winning it. But, look, they're the premiers. It's unfortunate that we've had to experience this again. And, with the next 5 weeks we have with our bye coming up, it is Melbourne next Thursday at the MCG, Sydney at the SCG. That's not easy. Gold Coast at home on the Saturday after that Friday game against the Swans. And then Power and then the King's birthday Eve clash against the Bombers before our bye. Now, believe what you want to believe here, but we have 5 weeks to try and get that right before the bye. And if we can't get that right before the bye, then people are going to be wondering what the hell's going on with this, and we don't want that again.
Yeah, that's true. Reality is you just got to get to Thursday, find a way to beat the D's.
Yeah,
because right now
You're right.
that 5-game stretch looks like we wouldn't be favourite in any of those games. Maybe the Gold Coast game, but even then you don't know. So you can get caught up in thinking too far ahead.
Of course. I mean,
But-
we're probably sorry, Terry. We'd be lucky to get Terry. We'd be lucky to be favourites against the Demons. Be lucky to be favourite against the Suns, and be certainly lucky to be favourite against the Power in Adelaide. At least. I don't know about the Demons or the Bombers yet, but we'll cross those bridges when we come to it.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Not funny. Like it's terrible, but throughout the fan camps tonight, I've had deja vu. Beachy, how many times have you called me in the exact seat that you were in, talking about something so similar to me after a loss? It's just got the books in the background. I think I've done this with you after losses 14 times, 15 times. So it's just, I've got deja vu, and I said it earlier, it's an uncomfortably familiar feeling.
It is. It is. And look, I can have all these books, all these games, all these controllers, all these CDs or whatever in the background, but that doesn't change a thing, because you and I are sitting here for a reason, and we are not there in the 4 walls of the club trying to figure out what is going on, what is going wrong, what is going right, and what can we do to help each other get better to 4 games of football.
Yeah, that's right, mate. The journey's long, it's arduous, it's difficult, it's challenging, and it's emotionally draining. So we just got to keep on top of it, eh?
Yes, we do. And games like these, losses like these to Collingwood or any other rival for whatever reason, like some people have said with the Showdown or the Western Derby, you get sick of losing them after a while. And I think we've reached that point with losing to Collingwood or losing to Western or whatever. But unfortunately, this is the way it keeps going, and we have to keep putting up with it.
Yeah. Well said. Thanks for calling in, Beachy.
No worries, mate. Just one more thing as well. I understand there was a little message from the besties earlier about what happened earlier tonight. I'm glad they're okay, but I think we might need just to check in on them, just make sure that they're not too rattled by this. The Collingwood supporters that did this to them need to be punished severely for this, and I hope that this never happens to them again, particularly after what we've been trying to promote tonight before the game.
Yeah. I spoke to Jazz. I got on the train. She called me. She was hysterically crying. Someone or a group of them have evidently gone up to them, screamed in their face, told them whatever they did, and got right into them and completely intimidated them. And so they're not going to be doing the post game. So like that just compounds more emotions and everything spilling over. But I haven't spoken to her since then, but we'll obviously check in on the girls after this. But it's crazy that we had what we did before the game, the moment of silence, and then what happened after the final siren. Like wild, like absolutely wild. So
exactly,
we'll deal with it.
Yeah, it's not required. Not after what we've been going through, and not after what's been going on in the last couple of weeks as well.
Yeah.
This is something that we just do not need. And I hope those people that did that to them get caught, get punished, and then removed from society altogether.
Oh, anyway. We'll find out who they were. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, good. I'm glad about that, because they don't need that, neither do we.
Yeah. Thanks, Beachy. Much love, mate.
You too, pal.
Jad.
Hey, bro.
How'd you go, mate? How you going?
Fucking devastated, man, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm really fucking... And it's not because we lost, all right? Like, of course, I was devastated that we lost the game and everything else that comes with it. It's not the first game we'll lose to them. It's not the last. We'll beat them plenty more times, whatever. It's how footy goes. But so earlier, Paolo and you mentioned the crowd. And I can feel exactly what you're saying because I feel it when I'm sitting there, right? So they've got this psychological edge over us. It's undoubted. And it spreads into the fans and it spreads into me because when I'm sitting there and every Collingwood game I've gone to for the last however many years, mate, I feel like I'm the little brother and I'm there and I'm sitting amongst big brother and just hoping we can fucking get one over them. Now, that mentality that's among us, I believe spreads from the club because have our players been told since this rebuild started not to fucking buy into it? They don't buy into this rivalry, bro.
Oh, right. Yeah.
They don't. Like, I look at how Collingwood celebrated every goal tonight and how they get up for it during the week through their socials and the shit that, you know, their president say and Eddie Maguire says and their coach says. They buy into it, man. It stings them if they lose. It doesn't sting us. It doesn't sting our players. And that is why I'm so fucking distraught and fucking devastated today. Like, I'm really down, mate. I wasn't this down after the prelim loss last year. Because my disappointment today is isolated to this one game. It's nothing to do with the season. It's nothing to do with my faith in the team. It's the lack of care for this rivalry. It's not there, bro. You hear Wiedering's comments. You hear all of their comments. They treat it like it's another game. They know they should care. They've been told, oh, you know, Sticks, Kernahan, Kuda, Ange Christou, they all come to the club and they tell us what this means. But I know that they're not buying it, mate. And that's a real fucking problem. It's a real problem. It fucking devastates me, Terry, because this rivalry is the biggest rivalry in the AFL. And right now, and it's not because we lost. Let me make that very fucking clear. It's not that we lost. It's the lack of passion that we lost. It's not fucking there. And it's not, I'm sorry for swearing so much. I'm fucking ropeable. I'm ropeable at this. The rivalry doesn't exist amongst our players. It exists with us, but not to them. It does with Collingwood. You can feel it. There's a reason why their crowd is louder than us tonight. There's a reason why. We're sitting there, much like the team, we're timid, we're scared, we're hopeful. And it just means more to them. And it fucking fucks me off. Yeah. It's not right.
Do you think, how much do you buy into the energy of the crowd reflecting how the team plays?
I buy into it like it's a fact because I'm fucking sitting there, and the way I'm feeling is how Lewis Young is going up for a ball, or it's the way it's the way players are getting to 50-50s and then shirking it. It's the indecisiveness with a handball, a simple handball. Yeah, sorry, go on.
No, the reason why I ask is because I think how you describe the players playing is how our crowd barracked. It was timid. It was fearful. I texted you.
When's the last time you were confident at a Carlton Collingwood game? Like really confident? When they were down today by two goals and they get one back and they're still down, they start their Collingwood chant. That's not false. That's not fake. That's in here. That's here. And I'm not going to blame the fans, mate, because it comes from the club. Like I hate like the way the players, how they talk about this week like it's just a normal week. We'll stick to our processes. We'll do this. We'll do that. Well, like we'll treat it like any other game. No, What is wrong with buying into it and feeling that passion and that fierceness? They feel it. See, Dacos celebrating today for that goal. He knows what it means. Every single Collingwood player knows what it means. And that I'm telling you, like, that is where my heartbreak is right now, because it's lost. It's either like a refusal to buy into it because they're scared that if they lose, what the emotions they're going to feel and what's going to happen. But so fucking what? You're going to lose games of footy. We will beat Collingwood in the future and they will beat us. That's how it goes. Why has it been ingrained in them to ignore this rivalry? Why?
I don't know if it's been ingrained in them to ignore the rivalry. I think the reality is this. I actually mentioned this in the preview. Sometimes you can want something so much that it takes you away from doing the basics to get there. Mate, look at how they did the basics tonight. The execution by foot.
You're right. So my point is, you're going to make mistakes regardless. So you may as well make it mean something and buy into it. We're supposed to be a part of this rivalry, bro. I don't want a bunch of players who are scared to buy into it.
We didn't play with the same dare and bravery to use the corridor more in this game than any game this season so far.
Yep. Yes. And why is that? Why?
Fear. My guess is fear. Just how I was feeling throughout the game. I was fearful. Just how I wasn't really as loud because I was too busy sitting there. I was like paralyzed, mate. Seriously, I was like, at times I was like paralyzed. I was like rocking back and forth, kind of waiting for something to happen. And there's something in that. There is something in that we can improve with the crowd for sure. I think it takes time. Conversations have maybe got to be had. We've got to figure out something that we could all buy into. I don't know what it looks like, but I know what it looks like on the other end when it works well. That's a war cry. That's a war cry for the Pies, mate.
Not even angry with them. Not even the shit and cop it on Twitter. Not even. Because it means more. Means more. You earned it. You fucking gave us a lesson. We lost every major stat you fucking want to look at. We reverted to that shit. Like everyone's talked about the specifics of the game already, but my real concern, isolated to this week, is this rivalry. You can't let it die. You can't. I want you to feel it. Be fucking angry. You want to beat Collingwood. What's so wrong with embracing it? Well, you're lucky to be part of this rivalry, mate. You're lucky.
Are we? How do I say this without people taking it the wrong way? We just lost to Collingwood by a kick. How bad was it on a scale of 1 to 10? Like, was it awful? Was it disgraceful? Was it don't come Monday? Maybe because we've been sitting here for nearly 2 hours, I've calmed down a lot and gone through and listened to pretty much everything that's been said, as in every different angle that's been covered. Play that game again. Like, no, I just think when we're losing, it's not as bad as what it used to be when we're losing. I think the floor is still rising, as weird as that sounds.
No, I get it. I get it.
Do you know, like I'm not trying to be patronizing. I'm not trying to be weak on them. I'm pissed off. Of course I am, but like it's such a long season. There's so much more footy to go. Everything changes in 2 weeks. In fortnight, the cycle of footy changes every fortnight. 2 weeks ago we were what we had done to the Giants was unbelievable. The Blues have clicked, whatever. Like 2 weeks later, it's we're getting found out. So like I'm very aware that things change really quickly. And I look at our 3 losses, and I'm annoyed that all 3 of them we were in winning positions or could have been in winning positions and could have won all 3 games. I think still the floor is rising. Now, that might go out the window next week. We get done by 40 points. Fair enough. But I just don't think it's as bad as I've seen.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying this. What I'm saying here is isolated to this rivalry, this game.
Yeah.
So, but for this rivalry, mate, like we're gonna need a seismic shift. Like we're gonna have to have a game in the future to turn this hold they have on us. We're gonna have to inflict a psychologically scarring defeat on them to turn it, because right now it's not. We don't have it on them. They've got it on us, mate. Like, I'm me. I'm talking about myself. I'm scared going to these games. Sometimes I contemplate not going because I don't want to be amongst it.
Fair.
So, worst loss of the season by far, considering everything. Like, just the fucking putrid style we reverted to. Deja vu in the worst way.
That was peak first half of 2023. Just, I mean, I get it. You play the percentages, you go down the line, you get field territory, but it became monotonous. It became so easy to defend for the Pies in the end. Once they realized we weren't willing to go down the corridor, cut the angle. I don't think I saw us go from, one corner to the other across the field all night. I don't think we did it all night.
We didn't switch once.
Nah. When we did, it didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah. Oh, mate. Like they just, that's what I'm saying. They know they have us. They know. And it, mate. Like, I want them to feel the fucking rivalry, please. Don't, like, lose, but fucking show me that you fucking, it pissed you off, please.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. All right. Well, I'll let you go, bro. I'm going to sleep.
Thanks for sharing, mate. Appreciate it.
No worries. Bye.
See ya. All right. I've got Connor, Josh, and Toby. You guys are champions for waiting. Connor.
Far out.
Far out, mate.
Out. That's all I can say. Just so frustrating, especially to this mob. Just far out. And like, I think our strengths are very obvious. Like, when we get that midfield up and going, we're unstoppable. When we play that forward half game, we're unstoppable. But we've moved away from those. I feel like contest and pressure, like those were our values, and I feel like we didn't hold them up. I think defensively just switched on and off too easily. I think some games, some parts of the game, I'm like, you know what, we defended really well. 2 minutes later, there's a Paddock in the corridor just letting him run and carry the ball through the middle of the ground and kick advantage to their forwards. We didn't do that all game. We went up the same bloody wing, up long to a contest. Small forwards weren't, or midfielders weren't at their feet. Similar thing happened all game, except for that first, which was really good.
I think we gave up, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure Collingwood kicked 5 in a row in the second.
Yeah, something like that. Yep.
Yeah. So I think it wasn't until 5 or 10 minutes into the third that we kicked our first goal from quarter time. So having said all of that, you still lose by a kick. Pies weren't great. I don't think they were great. I think, I mean, I don't know. There are Collingwood supporters in the chat. Do you think you were great tonight?
I didn't think they were great. I looked at them last year and they looked way better last year than they did today. But if you told me previously, no Mitchell, no DeGoey, Pendlebury, Crisp haven't been in brilliant form this year, and that we lose clearances, I would have said, fuck off, you're joking.
That stunned me tonight.
Their pressure, like, you've got to credit them. 87 tackles, like, it's got to be near a record. Like, they just kept pressuring us. And again, it felt like we got hands on the ball first, but just coughed it up. And they just swarmed on us, and that outlet ball, every time they spread from it, and they, used their opportunities inside forward.
Mate, bang on.
They're similar to Geelong. They're just efficient, where we're just not clicking through the lines, just from defense to midfield to forward. Like, we're lacking synergy, and I felt like we've lacked it for a lot of the season. And there's times where it looks brilliant. I'm just like, where this been? And then there's times where I'm just like, come on. But I think, defending well and playing that forward half game improves that transition by 100 times. when you're letting it get out the back, you're making it very difficult for us to move the ball forward again. Very hard to rebound. So yeah, defensively, just again, ups and downs in that game. Really need to work on that. And I think we're going to be in a lot better position, because when we defend and we, really put in a good showing in that midfield, like we're one of the best sides to watch. Just last year, you look back to those games, against Melbourne and Port, and just, that so strong defensively. But I don't know if it's personnel. I don't know if it's application. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know how to fix it, but it just hasn't looked right. I don't know if that's the same to you, but to me, it just hasn't seemed as good as it was at the end of last year.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a third of our best side isn't playing, and we're trying to figure out who's going to be able to break through and lift. I think the more the season goes on, the more I'm missing Adam Sard in particular. These guys that have poise and experience and play at such a high level, but that's not why we lost. It's not why we lost.
No. It takes a squad.
Yeah, it takes a squad. So I'm not using it as an excuse. I'm just saying, like, I really miss Adam Sard.
Yeah.
I really miss him.
Here.
You know?
But even in those, clutch moments, like he's always there. Like he somehow gets a fist across, somehow manages to find a target, just puts it in a good position for us to move forward and actually score from.
Yeah.
But even, and I think, the loss of Fogarty can't be understated.
Yeah.
That man just does not let, those halfback flankers just absolutely destroy us. He sticks every one of those tackles. And how many times did we stick a tackle and, an actual holding the ball decision was there for us to see? Because every tackle seemed like it was broken.
Yeah.
And their tackles were very efficient. We couldn't break theirs. We saw that with Hewitt. We even saw that with Walsh. Like, 2 or 3 times, I reckon he got pinged and turnover or was holding the ball. Just even our tackles didn't stick and theirs did. So, yeah. Then to only lose it by a goal, reflecting, it wasn't that bad in the end. A lot of the stats did not go away. We only lost by a goal. So I think if, we can improve those, then, there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. No. Season's not over. There's a lot of footy to go.
We saw that last year.
Mate, there's a lot of footy to go. So you just got to cop it.
Yep.
Move on.
Yep. As we will.
In the end, I'm grateful for a 6-day break, because we can just get the review done, get to Monday, and then before we know it, there's 3 days left until the next game. So
yeah, and it's not hard. Like, it's all for us to see what we need to work on. Like, it's not like we have to reinvent the wheel here. It's it's there for all of us to see, really. Just fix those inside 50s, just stay in the moment better. Just felt like we drift in and out of games too often. Just find a good balance, and I think we'll be back up there again.
Mate, I've really enjoyed talking to you. Is this your first time on the fan cams?
This is the first time. Long time listener. Since 2021. Just good way to I guess make the pain not as painful. But
something about it after a loss, it like we go through the whole process of getting back to normal. I feel fine. Not fine. I'm still a bit annoyed, but to decompress it all one sentence at a time,
Yeah. Oh well, we move on to next week, and just I think there's not much to fix up, but I think the midfield was the defensively, and the midfield just really got to work on that.
Yeah, no.
Midfield was not good enough.
Well said, mate. Thanks for calling in. Hopefully chat to you again.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I'll try jump on in the future.
See you, mate.
Thanks, Des.
Bye. Toby, let's talk, mate.
Hey, Tez. I'm as a lot of people who have come on, Matt, I'm disappointed. But in my own way, I feel like we need to get better. Collingwood showed us a lot. They're a damn good side. But if we match it with the good sides, we've got to be in the contest for longer. We looked like tonight we didn't want to play for the jumper. We're not like the two losses that I think that have been bad this season. Yeah, I went to the LA game. Yeah, that hurt. But tonight losing to Collingwood, fuck, I hate losing to them. And pardon my French, Terry, I fucking hate Collingwood. I always have. I fucking hate them. And it hurts like bad to lose to them. Yeah, I know we lost by 6, but fuck me. Seriously, Carlton. Come on, boys. We are better than this. We know it too. We've got the talent. Why do we always, when it's a close game and it's on the line, we don't know how to fucking finish? Fuck me. Finish. Get the job done.
Yeah.
Put the pressure on. Don't, like, Cherry, it's like, if the ball's there, don't go, yeah, okay, we can't be bothered. Oh, we won't pick up. Your man's there. Go and pick him up. Man on man, body on body. Put in. Go hard at the contest. Don't hold back. Run. Don't just stand there and walk and go, oh, yeah, okay, the ball's gone over my head. Well, if the ball's gone over your head, go and chase. Do something. Don't just stand there. The game is there to be won. You got to take the moments when you get the opportunity. Run, chase, pressure, then go again. Back it up. Don't leave it to people who like DeConing. Yeah, I agree with you. He was good tonight. But why do we leave it up to him? Why? Where's somebody else to take the game on? We don't have it. We've just lost that spark. I'm sorry, Tez. I'm just passionate, man. And it just hurts to see us like this because I know how good we can be. I know how good we can be.
I think that's why we're frustrated, because we expect better. And the reason why we expect better is because they are better than that, you know?
Exactly, man. Exactly. It just, yeah, I've been waiting to come on and I've been listening to other people, but I'm just so, like, I haven't felt this frustrated for a long time coming on to a fan cam, but tonight I'm just, because I've got mates who are Collingwood fans and I've got to see them in 2 days when I go play footy myself.
You got to cop
going to
it.
cop it.
We're all going
Exactly.
to cop it.
And I hate rocking up and going, oh, yeah, yeah, okay, Collingwood, you're good, but seriously, don't make us feel shit.
We play silly games and we win silly prizes, and unfortunately, we got to cop it this week. That's what it is.
Exactly, and
that's what it is.
You know, life goes on, man. The sun comes up. We do. You know, we all go to places, and we all, you know, have to do what we do during the week. But what do we love the most? Coming back and being Carlton fans. And we stick with the boys. We're not gonna jump off ship and go, yeah, okay, this is it. No, there's still a long way to go in this season. But we've just got to learn how to bounce back.
Yeah.
Because if we play like that, Melbourne will just go, all right, Carlton, here's the door. Do you want in? Do you want to come back? Or do we give you a flogging?
Yeah. Can we win next week, Toby? Can we get it done, mate?
Terry,
Don't do it. Don't do it, mate. Don't do it.
I need to think about it. Because, I mean, look, we need to work on a lot of things. Our backline needs to work, our midfielders need to work, and our forward structure needs to work. I'm so sick of seeing us bombing it long into our forward line.
Yeah.
Wow. When a short little chip is there, go short and get somebody to lead up. Charlie and Harry can lead. Can we just hit them, lace at perfectly? And if we can't get the ball to them, get your crummers to stand in front and then run onto it.
Toby, the question was, can we win against the D's? Yes or no?
Sorry, Chaz. Yes, I believe we can. I believe we can bounce back.
That's better. Nah, fair. I was just curious to see if you still had belief. That's all.
Oh, I do, man. I do. I'm always a believer. Mate, as I've said to you before, I've been a Carlton fan for almost 35 years. Shit, that's hard to say. I'll be 35 in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But, all right, Matt, I'm going to let you go. But just one more thing I would like to say. To all the Greek people, happy Christoph Sinesti for Greek Easter this weekend. Enjoy it. And, we'll be back as Carlton fans. Don't worry. We'll be back.
Thanks, Toby. See you, mate.
See you, Matt.
Josh, let's do this, mate. You're down the dump. Put a smile on you, mate. Have a smile, mate. It's going to be okay.
It's been a full-on night. To be honest with you, I didn't watch much of the fourth quarter just because it was a bit eventful in terms of what was happening in my day, but that's all right.
Really?
Yeah. It was. I wasn't going to talk about it, but happy to mention it. Was very worried about my little sister and just a few other things that happened. 2 blokes got evicted behind us. So things happened. So I sort of lost focus during the fourth quarter, but I still wanted to come in and talk just because I'm frustrated. But I think because of that, I'm less emotional about the game just because my focus was more on that. But
you put things into perspective, right?
Yeah, well, mate, footy's it brings out the best of us and it brings out the worst of us, I think. And I hear about what happened with the besties and all that as well, and it literally brings out the best and the worst of people. So mate, that's footy though. Feel like it was just it's been a weird last few weeks, but it was a weird game tonight. Just weird. We start well, we're 18 points ahead, and there's a 5-goal turnover. So, just frustrated, man. There's nothing you can really pinpoint it on. I know our defense is bad, our mids have been bad, but there's what do you pinpoint on tonight's loss on Terry? What would you mainly say that it is?
How long have you got?
Whenever, mate.
How long have you got? I think in every single one of our losses, we have butchered the football. And we don't seem to have the same appetite as what we've seen this group at their peak. It's still a bit patchy, comes in waves. And that's a bit concerning because that's mental. That's mental.
Yeah.
It feels like we need to be so much more laser focused to play well than what other teams do. I don't even know if that makes sense.
No,
but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's we are a team that sometimes falls into this trap of relying on our top end talent to have moments.
Yeah,
and that's just not going to get it done. Because really, we had plenty to win tonight. Plenty. You got one of the best defenders in the league. You got 2 of the best forwards in the league, Coleman medalists. You got the best, the best midfield on paper. It means nothing. It meant nothing tonight. So,
Yeah. No, I agree. Just we touch on like our players. Like we got all our forward, like in terms of our main forwards, you got Charlie and Harry available. You probably want Martin up there. Your smalls that could rotate between Motlop and whatever when they're back. But what I'm going to touch on is because we've got all these outs at the moment. Last year, when we were having our injuries and we're going through our big win streak, we were all right because the mentality was next man up. We are a system based team. So whoever can, like, everyone sort of bought into that system. What I've noticed over the last, maybe I noticed it tonight specifically, but in our previous losses to Geelong and even in a few of our wins, is that you've got players that are coming in and they're not quite. I mean, it's hard, got VFL and AFL levels completely different, but like, it's just interesting. I don't know if they're doing like what they were last year. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I don't know how to really like pinpoint it.
I get what you're saying.
Mm.
It's round 8. We lost to the Pies by a kick.
Mm. True. That's right. Well, mate, it's only a third of the season.
Yeah, it's round 8, and we lost to the Pies by a kick. That's what happened.
Yeah, a third of the season.
I don't think it's too deep.
Mm.
We didn't generate anywhere near as many opportunities in this game as what we've seen over the last 3 weeks.
No
so
way.
that to me will put some pressure on the game plan and coaching. See, this was different to the other losses. The other losses, you kick 14-14 against the Crows. That's 28 opportunities. You kick 15-15 last week against Geelong. In this game, your opponents hold you to, what was it, 30? Collingwood hold us to 38 inside 50s, 19 scoring shots. So we got beaten in the coaching box too. Whatever the tactics were, we got beaten. Boys go into their shells. Unless the instruction was to keep it simple, play a little bit more down the line. There was, little to, if any, dare about the way we kicked the ball through the corridor.
Yeah.
So,
mate,
I don't know what the answer is. I don't know why. I don't know what. I don't know what the instructions were. I think we can sometimes get sucked into thinking we are coaches and we know better. We don't. And that's the hard part, man, because we're fans and it's all out of our control. We choose to follow this thing that is out of our control. What a crazy thing we do.
I know it's crazy, but
You know what I mean?
it is wild. It is wild, eh? But I think we'll bounce back. I think, you look at last year, that was a fucking roller coaster, wasn't it? That was a hell of a roller coaster. We've lost 3 games of the season. We've won 5. We're not playing our best. We don't have our first choice players available.
Yeah.
I can understand why people feel so flat. And obviously it's Collingwood, right? And I think Jad also mentioned it before. Mate, it was a big occasion tonight. It's not often that you ever get to mate, when I was playing sport, I was playing in front of my fucking mum and dad and maybe 10 other people. These boys have got the privilege of playing on the whole, the MCG, the Coliseum itself in Australia, our Coliseum, in front of 88,000 people, it's a big fucking occasion. So,
of course,
I don't know. We just weren't up to it tonight, man. All the talk was we should be I'd love to smash them and all that, but I don't know. I think we almost forgot that they're the reigning premiers, and I know that they didn't start the season.
We have absolutely forgotten that they are the reigning premiers, probably because their record was 3 wins and a draw with 3 losses, and maybe everyone thought, oh well, that's it. You can't write off Collingwood. You just can't.
No way.
They're going to be, mate. They're going to be there again at the end. When it's all said and done, they're going to be there again. They prove that they've earned the right to have that respect. So,
yeah, that's right. Well, when you don't win a flag by coincidence, mate. We saw that last year. They 16 games and 5 losses. They were phenomenal. They started the season poorly, and they've picked themselves back. They won without any of their midfielders. They were without their foot. We're talking about we're without Sard and all that. They're without their first choice midfielders as well. They found a way to win. Good teams find a way to win. They're a good team still. We can't forget that. But How do you think the boys take, like, I don't know, the last few weeks? Like, Voss was really upset. You know, like you could see visually in his press conference, he was frustrated. Tonight, like, I would probably be just as, like, I'd probably be more filthy based on that response. So, like, how do you reckon the boys, like, how do we take this going into next Thursday night?
How do I take it, or how do I think
Like,
the boys?
how do you reckon, like, based on just the last? I don't know. We're going through that patch, aren't we?
Yeah, I think we are. I hope. No, I mean they're not. You know, the core of the group. They're senior players in this league, not just this team. You know, we're talking about 25 plus. The bulk of the leaders are in a really senior age bracket, and last year it was, can Carlton play finals? That can they or can't they? And we showed that we could. We finally got there, and the standard is being raised, and so that means more pressure. I think there's a fine. I think you got to be really careful with that, though, because you're talking about a new generation of player. You're talking about a fan base that don't need too much to have a green light to go hard at them, and we saw what happened last year when things seemed to be caving in. Especially once the fans started, losing them. We started losing our minds.
We lost it bad.
I just think as long as we don't get back to that point where, I mean, they're going to feel the heat from themselves. They're going to feel the heat from the media. I think what's really important is we don't let that fan heat get too much to the point where it's fearful. To do your best work, you got to be in a state of calm, not in a state of stress. And so that's something I think I learned last year about the group. But how do you control that? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah, well, it's funny because, like, you say that, like, with the fans and all that, like our fan base is crazy. I was speaking to my cousin today. He barracks for Collingwood, and obviously he's just come off seeing them with a premiership and all that. And now, in his opinion as well, he was saying to me, it's like, it's all eyes on Carlton. I want to see if now they're capable of doing it. So if that's like, and you hear it through the media and you probably hear it from other people, so that's coming from like an outsider's like perspective. So like, and our fans are brutal. I can be brutal. You can be brutal. We're all fucking like, we want to see a premiership. That's what it all comes down to. We have been so starved of success, whether it's been for like, some people maybe like a lifetime. I haven't seen anything. You were alive for 95. My dad hasn't seen anything.
4, bro. What do you mean? I was 4 years old. I don't remember 95. Come on.
Right, you weren't even in primary school. You
can't put me in that category.
Hardly remember it though. But like, yeah, I guess this is what happens when you play for Carlton. I'm like, it's just a part of it. But look, on to bigger and better things. Like, I really got faith that next week we'll turn around. We got players coming back.
Yeah.
1 week at a time. We're a third of the way of the season done. We can do this. But stay on board, everyone. I know it's hard, especially after losing to Collingwood. But yeah, stay on board.
We have lost to Collingwood before. We will lose to Collingwood again. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Mate. Good stuff. Thank you.
See you, mate.
Soon. See ya.
See ya.
All right. I've got one more. Mark, you there?
I'm here. Hello?
How are you, mate?
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, right. Look at this face. That is tired. Physically, and mate, you're tired. You've pulled off another nearly 2.5 hours like it's WrestleMania again. I feel like I'm about to literally die in closure with like these eyes are literally about to close. But I refuse. Just like I was willing to die out there that we would just find a way to win. Despite that, I still couldn't believe the fact that they actually had that many entries inside 50 to what we did. But isn't it ironic that we had that similar number last week compared to Geelong having 20 less and we couldn't get the job done?
Yeah.
So this is interesting, right? This year so far, and trust me, mate, I've still got a fair bit to say, but we'll start with this first. We found ways to win this year, and we've found ways to lose this year. So far, we've got a combination of 2022 and 2023 so far this year in the first 8 weeks. It's ironic. It's crazy, actually. So we don't know what's next. The possible savior of all this as time goes on, but we don't know yet. Maybe the rest of the bottom team is not good enough, and we might still scrape in despite at times we'll look good and at times we'll look flat. But who knows? I still think deep down compared to, well, it's funny. It was around this time last year I made my bold claim that we were done. And obviously as you know, behind closed doors, had done the unthinkable of destroying all this from within. And it got it. Again, it's the biggest regret ever. But anyways, that was then. We always got to keep moving forward. Of course, we can still do this. A lot of work needs to be done, for sure. We are a few men down, we get that. But the difference is we know we can bat a bit more deeper this time. I think there's just too much expectation in this group that winning a few games is not just enough. We want to obviously try and change those screws from the constant losing culture into the winning culture. And that's why I keep mentioning Geelong year after year after year. When you think they're done, and here they are again. We want to be that. We want to be a lot better than that. If you're not inspired to be, think of it, Terry. You played your footy back in your day. I still play my sports here and there. You got to go into every game to fucking win, even if you think the odds may be against you. You got to have that mentality, still willing to win. You got to live to win till you die when the light shines in your eyes.
Do you think that they didn't go in to win today?
I'll tell you what, we probably did go in thinking that we're probably just accustomed to the close games because we're lacking the killer instinct still.
No, but I'm saying, do you think that they didn't go in to win today? Like, yes or no?
No. And my reason is simply this. They mentally have us. Like everybody has said. But not only that, it is a proven fact. It is a proven fact that we've seen from, especially in the last 2-3 years, those close games that they won against us in 22, to obviously just feeding it to Darcy Moore this time last year. Yeah, we got him in the return leg. Great. You really would have thought that finally in our home game, which, funny enough, the last time we beat Collingwood in our home game was when obviously Brett Radden was in his final years as coach. And obviously when Buckley started for Collingwood. That's how long it's been. Our fans, which, it's funny, they still happen to make a bit more noise than what we did. I know from where I was sitting up in level 2, I refused to not have us lose to this side. But sadly enough, give credit to Nick Dacos, probably the two good goals that any player could have kicked. Burst out of the pack in the first quarter and went bang. That's just tip. That's clinical. Yeah. And he did the same again in the last quarter. And they mentally have us, man. They've got us on the head-to-head ledger now by 3. We've got to wait at least another 2 or so years just to even that out again. Yeah, great. We've got 5 flags on them to theirs 1, which nobody's obviously alive these days. That was well over 120 odd years ago when they got their only one against us. The fact of the matter is this now. They've got the ledger on us now, historically. And what those past generations had gone through, of course they were fearful of us. Now our biggest fear is that we're just accustomed of them taking over and them taking over rapidly.
Yeah, that's why it's important to write. Look at, I think Vossi said it after the end of 2022. We don't get, they've got to write their own story. They've got to go out there and change the narrative and write their own narrative.
Here's this narrative for you. Since you've had this show for what is it now? 5 years?
6.
5, 6. Oh, right, 2018. But I was going more with the fan camps from 2019 when it really became a big thing. But thanks for clarifying that up. But anyways, here's a little stat for you. Our head-to-head record against Collingwood that you've had to go up against the leprechaun himself, Swoop Luke Caruana, which, mind you, I graduated with the kid through Penola. Alex and I, we both did. And he has given me, in particular, propane nightmares that I can't just try to have a peaceful sleep, but I can't. I hate him.
No, that's
Hate
not
is a strong
No.
word in itself to the core. The bloke
you don't.
is a div. Here's
No,
the
no, no.
thing, right? 2 and 6. 2 and 6 is the record they have on us from these fan YouTube channels. And to me, I just think to myself, how do they keep finding ways like a worm crawling in through that apple to just click like that?
Yeah. No, I think you should remove the hate. I think you should remove the hate. That's not going to help anyone, you know? Got to be really careful on these fan cams. Got to be really careful on these fan cams, the way you talk about individuals, because you're responsible for everything you say. You know what I'm saying?
We all are.
Yeah. So you just got to be
We all
careful.
are. Yeah, no, I heard you. I heard you.
You got to be really careful.
It sickens me. Not just me, but obviously everybody. We all care. Of course we all care. We all care because we obviously want to beat our rivals.
Yeah, and like I said to Josh, it's hard because none of it's in our control. We're sitting here watching like a TV show. You don't know what's going to happen.
Or potentially a comedy act, a horror, the drama, can be romantic, but obviously it's all going swell. So many genres.
Yeah.
So much superlatives you could think of. But man, because look, to be honest, like we've all got really good friends that follow these other clubs, and we do. But then, there's always just that one that plays up in your mind mentally, like it really sickens you in the head, like I'm touching my head right now. And I just can't stand the fact that these guys keep finding ways regardless.
Yeah.
Because obviously, as we know, form, ladder, it doesn't matter. They could be the top 2 or the bottom 2. It still draws the big crowd.
Yeah.
It still raises the money revenue to the league. We all know.
Yeah.
But man,
let's wrap up.
The last thing I will say, we do get them again. Now, you remember years and years ago. Actually, was it years ago? It was a couple of years ago. Bit of a controversial ending, I remembered. It was after we beat Adelaide, and I said we'd slit the Giants' throats. Funny enough, that was that. I want to cut the head off the magpie this time.
Okay. Well, we'll see them in round 20. See you, mate. Righto. Aiden.
Fire, this is a therapy session.
Mate, this is peak Blue Abroad right now. This is peak. After a loss, getting everyone just chilling out. I mean, we fucking lost to the Premiers by a kick. Like,
yeah. But I was at the game today, and that was disappointing. That was my first game, Carlton Collingwood game that I've been to in 10 years. And we lost like that. But I feel like everyone else has said this. I feel like that it's just another game for our boys. And to them, it's different. Like, I feel like Collingwood, like, it means something to them. I feel like with ours, they just don't. It's just another game to them. And that's what frustrates me a lot because, again, this is the biggest rivalry in our game's history, possibly. And they come out like that, like, it's disappointing. Like, you need to, like, I don't understand, but I feel like there's no game. I feel like there's no plan B. Like, if shit hits the fan, like that first quarter, we blitzed it, like we went off. And I feel like there's no plan B. I feel like Vossi got out-coached tactically again. And if you're gonna,
Mate,
if we,
listen, the Pies stopped us from generating opportunities, no doubt. That's
yeah,
going to be that's a game plan, coaching win by the Pies tonight. That's the first time I felt that way about either of the losses. I know everyone's a little bit upset, more upset because we lost to the Crows. They weren't going so well, and I get
yeah,
that. But we had plenty of scoring opportunities. We didn't generate anywhere near as many effective scoring opportunities in this game. This was the first game of the year where I felt like the game plan completely got stopped by the other team. And if you had told me that at quarter time, I would have said you're crazy.
yeah.
We were in control.
I honestly couldn't tell you what stopped it unless they figured us out possibly
For sure.
because I said to my dad, I said, if we continue like this, we're going to come home with a 30 point win. And it didn't happen. But this is the Adelaide game and this one. If we, let's say, miss out on the spot that we should be going for this year, we're going to look back at it. And
for sure,
I don't know where from here because the next 2 weeks aren't going to be easy. And if we continue that long bomb against Melbourne, especially with Lever and May, we're finished. So, yeah, what do you think?
Melbourne's interesting because we had this exact conversation last year against the D. Do you remember the first time we played the Ds last year?
Yeah.
Mate, it was like carbon copy, long bomb. Second time we played them, finally started lowering the eyes. Then we played them in the semi-final as well. We can do it. They can do it. They have done it. They just did it 6 months ago. So it's not like we haven't seen them
but
move the ball better,
Yeah, like I hope that this loss doesn't ruin them because this group has gotten through that much shit. I hope it doesn't impact them a lot. Now, do you think that the last few weeks have been personnels or roughly just our coaching?
Bit of both.
Yeah, because I reckon with Martin, Motlop, McGovern, the last 2 weeks probably would have gotten different. But our role players today, I'm not gonna single out anyone, but they're not the players like McGovern, like the Sard, like the Motlop, like the Fogarty. They're not like them, and yeah, they can't do a job. You can have them. We saw it last year. We can have those types of role players that can do a job, but they're not the finished article. And I think that's what's kind of impacting us a little bit. But yeah, and I think that our defense just looks completely disconnected.
Yeah. I was saying it earlier. I mean, it's changed every week. At least one comes out of the back seven every week. The last couple of weeks, I think. So lose two against the Crows. Whatever.
Yeah, and I honestly think that the camp out was weird because I think him and Wiedering complement each other so well, and the fact that Williams, I don't know.
I agree with that. I was a bit surprised. No, I wasn't surprised because if when I thought about it, I thought, well, Cox will rest forward. Young is a better matchup for Cox than what Kemp would be. So I kind of got it from that point of view. But what we lacked, I mean, we lost a lot on the ground. The ground ball was the issue with the Collingwood forwards going into the game because they're smaller, more mobile, more nimble. Wiedering had Mychek, but you definitely needed another tall there for their resting, ruckman.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with Williams, but if he's out next week, then there you go.
There's another one,
and that just disconnects the cohesion even more, and we don't want that.
No.
And yeah, I don't understand it. It's not good enough.
No,
I don't get it at all, man.
Yeah. Well, mate, thanks so much for calling in.
No, it's fine.
Chat soon.
I'll see you next week.
See ya.
Yeah.
Danny, where you at? You asked to come in. I'm ready. You just left. Get back in here, mate, before I wrap up. Let me check if the press conference is good to go. Here he is. Mate, what's happening?
Very.
Oh, no, you have a terrible connection. What's going on here? You there? Nah.
Oh, hold
Yeah,
on.
you there?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yes, I
I
can.
can hear
Can you hear
you.
me?
Yeah, go for it.
Yes, I can hear you too. Oh, there's. Fuck. It's
Talk to
not.
me, mate.
It's not the. It's not the players. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Perfect. It's. I don't believe it was the players. I don't believe it's the outs. I don't believe it's us. It's to do with the outs that we had. They had just as many outs, but I believe we got beat by the structure and the system. And that's what's frustrating, Tez, because it all boils down to those narrow wins. It all boils down to those narrow margins. It all boiled down in a couple of years ago to that one point that we lost to Collingwood last year, or a couple of years ago. And that's what frustrates me. Like when I spoke to you last week that the Collingwood, the Adelaide game screwed us. We should have won that game. Okay, it's a one-off game. We learn. Geelong, too good. 15 shots, 15 behinds, 15 goals, of course, 15 and 15, 14 and 14 against Adelaide. Inaccurate kicking. We're like, oh, you know what? We're actually really good, but it's the inaccurate kicking that's costing us. Fair. Okay. Well, what happened now? We got beat by the system. And that's what frustrates me because, yes, Adam Sardan McGovern might come in, but it's the system that cost us. It's the inside 50s. Probably, Tez, this was the game where we should have actually bombed the ball inside the 450. This probably should have been the game because we were too slow. I don't know what we were thinking. We took a lot of our time and gave them enough time when they had the ball. So many behinds that they kicked. They probably should have won the game by 4 goals, I feel, if they kick accurately parts. And this frustrates me because I fucking hate them, but that's what's true, Tez. It's fucking frustrating, bro, because I had like people come over at my place and they were all watching the game together because I couldn't get the tickets in time. And it just I can't just hide the disappointment, man. It just kills me. But Tez, I have to go because it's pretty late. But a couple of pointers, and I would after I obviously cut the call and I'm not in this video anymore, I just want you to give your input as well on the game because I feel like you are very articulate and you speak really well. But where do you see the season going from here? And it spires whatever, I don't care. Yes, we lost 5-3, but I would say the system is number one. And I would also say it's not the players, it's the system. And I'm not blaming Wasi because we've had wins, but I believe it's a long time coming, Tez. We have raised the bar. We have reached the finals last time. We finished 5th. We cannot settle for 6th or 7th position. We'll be again battling out outside the top 4, which might not win us the granny. And I don't want to be there, mate. It's still doable. All is not lost. But this probably was the game where we should have kicked the ball inside 50, inside of over 50. Not taking our time because they were at a disadvantage. They were scared. We had 3 tolls in there. TDK, Charlie, Harry. It's all, isn't it? You always say that, when you talk about what could have happened, it's just one of those things that, oh yeah, well, I'm just so frustrated. I'm out of words right now, Tez, but
No, fair. No, mate, I appreciate you coming in and calling up and sharing, and thanks for calling up, man.
And please get and thanks for everything again, Tez. Love you, man. You are the best. Leading our community, you probably are so articulate, so nice. I'm probably older than you, but the way you speak about the entire things and how you communicate yourself professionally, even with all the dumb cunts coming in. Sorry, excuse my language. The Collingwood fans coming down there. You're the best. But bro, probably silver lining this. A little bit of a laughter. But bro, yeah, if you can please tell me your insight just before we sign off, that'd be great.
I mean, I'm no expert, honestly. I just think we lacked dare, we lacked poise, we lacked polish. We got systematically beaten. Collingwood outcoached us. They scouted every single player perfectly, took away their strengths. And I think Collingwood learned as the game kept going what they needed to do, whereas we didn't. We started off really well, and I'm pretty much at a loss for words as to why it turned around the way it did, other than the Pies are just better. So that's all I've
Don't
got
say
for you.
that, Tez. Don't say that. Don't say it. They're not. They're not. It's just our system that let us down today, brother.
But
Because
tonight, I'm saying tonight they were better.
yeah.
Yeah. So
All right, Tez. Love you, bro.
all right, man.
You
Love
have
you
a
too.
good night, and I'll see you soon, mate. Take care.
All right. See you, man.
Go Blues.
Go Blues. What a star. Fuck. Do you guys want to watch the presser? Because I would love to watch the presser. Also, Collingwood fans in the chat, you've been entertained for nearly 3 hours here. The least thing you could do is hit the subscribe button. Anyone else who's watching this who's not subscribed on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Anyway, let's watch the presser.
After losing a pretty heartbreaking game like that.
Yeah, it was a difficult one. Oh, we didn't debrief it for a long time. I think that's one of the ones that you just take 48 hours, look at the vision, break it down, take the emotion out of it, and try to look at through process and what we improved from last week to this week. Because there's some gains made, but we also know that we're still got to progress in a few other little areas. So I think we'll sort of take the time to probably look at the vision so we can give them the clarity about what we think it was.
Do you feel like you butchered the footy a little bit tonight?
Yeah, we did some at different points in time. Like we, more probably across our half forward line was the more costly ones if there was. So again, we'll look at the options themselves. I mean, there's the decision, and then there's the actual error. So it felt like some of the decisions seemed to be right, but did we execute it well enough? And that's probably what we need to have a bit of a look at.
Just looking at the numbers overall, I mean, you've won the contested ball, you've won uncontested ball, you've broken even in most others, but the big discrepancies like the forward entries where they've smashed you. What does that say to you about how the game played out?
No, I thought we overpossessed it. Yeah, the probably the bigger one is that their tackles.
Yeah.
Their pressure that they were able to provide across the night probably forced us to overpossess it. So we had to make some corrections there about how we wanted to move the ball out of those particular scenarios, and just didn't feel like that we were absorbing that well enough. And then the overpossession comes into play. So that's where I find like the disposal number is actually quite a useless number. But credit to them, they were able to force that turnover and probably force us to do something that we wouldn't normally do. And then, we lost the territory battle. And you lose the territory battle against a good footy team. It's going to be hard to win that game.
Without Tom Mitchell and Jordan De Goey, it seemed like you guys had a real chance tonight to really assert your authority in the middle of the ground. How surprised are you that you end up losing clearances and centre clearances, given that?
Well, it's been a strength of ours for the last couple of weeks. So that's one part of the game that you'd like to back in, that we can sort of at least draw even. But I take exception to individuals that are missing provides an opportunity. There's still 18 players out there that and they're a premiership team. They're a pretty good team. So I don't think we should disrespect them like that
I'm not
too much.
disrespecting, but Mitchell and De Goey, two of those premiership players.
But yeah, correct.
Yeah.
From our perspective, that's been a real strength of our game, and that's what we've got to continue to search for. We've got to have balance in our game. I get often asked around the transition part of the game, do you want that better? Well, of course we want it better. It was from a results point of view and goals kicked, it was a really good phase of our game. But we also want our stoppage game to be in order as well, and that part was off. And for us, that lost the territory battle for us, and they've had whatever they had inside 50s, 61 inside 50s to our 38. So just the supply wasn't good enough for us tonight. But to be able to hold a side with 61 entries and get looks like that forward of the ball, that can probably go into the basket of improvement of that we wanted to defend harder, and we did that. But it still wasn't good enough to be able to get us the result.
Is the ability to score as many goals as you did and stay in the contest with so few inside 50s another of the positives? Or how do you look at that now?
Very, very positive. But I think that's what we've got to go back and have a look at the vision and sort of, what was the balance in all that? What was sort of the big things that came out of it? I felt like the major thing was really their pressure and our ability not to take the game forward. And so you overpossessed the ball a little bit, and we had a couple of breakdowns. So we just couldn't get that game in our half. First quarter, we had, 15 inside 50s, and we set up really well behind the ball. But that's about the only look we got for most of the night.
Yeah, what do you think was the catalyst behind that turnaround in the second quarter? 5 goals in a row up until half time.
A bit more efficient in our play. And that's not just about hitting targets. It's, what our contest method looks like and how we take the ball away from those particular areas. We're able to absorb it better. And as a result, we sort of started to get the scoreboard ticking back over, and that got us back into the game. It always felt like we had opportunities to score. It always felt like that. Even late, we had an opportunity to be able to get the scoreboard in our favour. So really tight games, it becomes about the margins. It comes about the little things. So we'll give that the attention that it needs.
Well, two sides that have been very good in the tight finish. Do you feel like they did anything particularly better than you in those last 5 minutes, or was just luck?
Dacos was all right.
He was pretty good. Yeah.
He was pretty good. So he backed himself in, and you got that scenario where it is a draw, and so you're working. We lost field position, so that made it hard to think that we're going to try and derive anything from that particular part of the game. And they got that sort of one little breakthrough, and he was good enough to finish. From a very tight angle, mind you. So bit of class, stood up at the right time. But yeah, we weren't able to sort of swing it back the other way. When we had our moments, we probably just fell short.
Do you feel like you're reasonably close to your best?
No, we're playing some good football.
Yeah.
We're playing some really good footy. We also know that, we've got to continue to progress. And, I talked about defence last week, but that's, we're referring to that every single week. It's important to us every single week. And we've got to build off the back of it, because it can't be the moving spotlight. It's one day it's this and the next day it's something else. We look at a balanced profile that we want in our game. We'll continue to look at where we get progressive. And right now we are getting some really good feedback off some good opponents about what we need to get to work on.
And are you also encouraged by the sort of talent you've got to come back into the side?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's probably where we'll look at it. It will separate the two, because you've got to look at your system and sort of say, where does the system need to improve, and what phase of the game is that we need to get after it, to continue to reinforce about the way we want to play in these types of games. And then there's the talent that helps your system get better, and obviously having some guys to be able to add into that, help your system be able to execute that little bit better. So hopefully there's a couple more to return next week.
Just a couple of Dacos. Is there much you can do when he's in that sort of mood in the last quarter, and he just?
I think very good players they step up to the moment, and he was fantastic tonight, and we couldn't stop his influence. So we had a couple of little things that we were trying to do, but we across the whole night we weren't able to get it done, and he stepped up in the last quarter and was able to get the ascendancy. And we went down in clearance significantly in the last quarter, so we're just up against it for most of it. We would have liked to have been able to try and take more advantage for being further up the field, but we just couldn't seem to get the ball up our end enough.
Back-to-back losses against Geelong and Collingwood, two of the better travel teams at the moment. Is it sort of almost a good sort of, not reminder, but just a reality check of the work that you have to do to get to those better teams, I guess?
Yeah, and that's right now. That's what's been put to task right now. There's tension on it, and good sides who have lots of threats and have a good style of footy and they can play it for long periods of time, they'll put that under tension. So we're getting some really important feedback for us right now. It's really clear for us. We're not sort of searching for it. It's really clear. Our job is to just make sure we execute for longer. and be more disciplined for longer, do our role for longer. Execute those kicks a little bit more. And as I said, when you get into games like this, it's about margins. It's the marginal gains. It's the little things that you want to get after, and we'll keep showing that to the players, and we'll keep trying to improve individually, but we'll keep trying to improve as a team.
Zach Williams, hamstring, was it?
No, he had a tight glute.
Okay.
So at this point in time, we sort of feel that's all it is, but it was restricting his movement. So, he had to get subbed.
Hopeful for next week, or you're not sure?
I think he should be fine.
Yeah.
But let's wait till we get the scans back. It looks like we'll get a couple back next week with Jack Martin and Marchbank and McGovern. So, there's a few to come back over the next couple of weeks. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Okay. It's really interesting. He was a different energy about him. I wonder if he was sick last week. He was really his emotions got the better of him last week. But that was interesting. Martin, McGovern, Marchbank next week. That's really interesting. Yeah, it didn't seem concerned in that interview. That was not what I don't know what I expected. But he came out so fierce after last week. It was almost like the frustration got to him. Whereas this week it was, I'm going to wait for the 48 hours before and allow the emotions to subside. So he's obviously reviewed himself there. Interesting. There definitely is a confidence. If Martin, McGovern, and Marchbank are back for Thursday night, then that's huge. I don't know. I'm not worried. I'm not panicking. This is way far. I don't want to talk too soon, and then it becomes a panic station. But I don't think we're going as bad as what it can potentially look like. Yeah. We've been following this weekly for 6 years. I don't think it's. Yeah, I'm not. I think we're going okay. I think we're taking it right up to the best teams in the comp. The reality is we've lost 2 of the 3 against the better teams in the comp. So you're talking about Collingwood, Geelong, and GWS. We've only managed to win 1 of those games. Is Adelaide one of the better teams in the comp? I still think they're a final side, but I don't think they're a top 4 side. I think when it's all said and done, Geelong, GWS, and Collingwood will be right there at the very top of the ladder. So, but we'll see how that one plays out. Anyway, we're approaching 3 hours. It's 2 a.m. Thanks for tuning into the fan cams. A disappointing loss. Thanks to the Collingwood supporters that tuned in as well. Congratulations. Go Pies. Fucking champions. What am I going to say? You're too good. They were too good tonight. They were not at their best, but they were still better than us tonight. And well done. Anyway, see you in round 20, you dogs. Good night, everyone. Go Blues. Oh, and hit the subscribe button. One more reminder. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. See ya.